And welcome back to the Texas Sprint Racing Series Round 4 Midsummer Mashup at Amarillo Kart Circuit. I'm joined by Cameron Reed here with the play-by-play here for the Mini Swift main event. What are you thinking?
We're getting ready to go live here. First main event of the day. I'm super stoked. I think it'll be a good one. Obviously, we've seen a couple people fast this weekend. The Berry brothers, Derek Wargo. We've seen David Jabbar up in there. Obviously, he had a rough heat race. So I think it'll be a good one. Hopefully, we see a little bit of change in the lead and make it an interesting one.
For sure. The Berry brothers have definitely been the ones to beat, starting first and second on today. Starting third, Derek Wargo. P4, Juan Jose Paramo. And starting in row 3, Mateo Quinto, David Jabara. And row 4, Emmett Eddles and Jordan Bell. Row 5, Matthew Duquette and Bristol Bornman. And rounding out row 6, Davis Henry.
Looks like they're getting all gridded up, ready to come. Got them going nice and slow.
Quite a little bit of a fast pace here going down to the flag man. Look like they slowed down just a little bit. Going down turn 1, let's see what Mason Berry is able to do here in the first corner. Hopefully that outside road doesn't get too stacked up. Here we go, green, green, green. Looking a little clean, pushing and bumping. Berry goes over the curb.
Follow the field.
Looks like everybody made it through nice and cleanly, single file.
Yeah, that was a nice, good, clean start. Looks like that is the Berry brothers out front. One of them got shuffled a little bit back. We'll check on who that is. Looks like that might have been Derek Wargo moved up into the second position.
Yeah, Wargo's been fast all weekend, man. Now he's been fast in the LO206 categories as well. He's definitely going to be a big competition for the Berry brothers this race.
So that is Mason Berry out front. He's got a nice good gap going to Derek Wargo. And Derek Wargo should be getting a little bit of help from Mateo Quinto, as I think he's looking to get a little bit of a push coming down this back straightaway as they head through turn 9, that long sweeping left-hander. Then we got a little pack of 3 behind them. That looks to be Carson Berry, Juan Jose Paramo, and David Ybarra. Maybe looking to catch that front pack.
Definitely. They need the Wargo and Quinto definitely need to stay together and work well together just to stay with Berry. Berry's been so fast this weekend. It's going to be tough to beat him.
Yeah, I think it might look like Derek Wargo might be going for the pass here pretty soon. He might want to try to hold up Mason Berry a little bit since he has had such a dominant run in these past couple heat races. It looks like he's all up on the bumper of Mason as they come out of turn 1. Some people in the grass. It looks to be Carson Berry and the team Felon GWR.
Someone in the wall.
One goes into the wall. Another one spun. That looks to be the HRI cart of. Try to get a name on them. They look to be a little bit hurt. That was a pretty rough one. Looks like somebody went up over. That's the 140 of Juan Jose Paramo. He was running in the second, he was running up pretty there in that second pack, up in the 5th, 6th position.
Yeah, it's nice to see him go out like that.
Hopefully he's doing all right. We'll pan back over to our front runners.
Follow the leader, Franco. You're currently still up right now.
Looks like Mason Berry is still there. Derek Wargo all up on the bumper, and looks like they're pushing away from Mateo Quinto, who was purple last time by.
It looks like they're just going to be pushing together the whole race so far. I mean, it looks like Wargo's going to be a little patient, which is exactly what he needs to do.
All right, we got Nick back in.
They're starting to push away from Mateo for sure. Let's see, it looks like David Ybarra jumped up in the 4th position after that large crash. See if he can't run down Mateo. He's got a good little gap to Carson Berry, but, you know, anything can happen. Maybe they could close it up.
Let's see what that gap is this time by. Mason Berry goes purple. Gap is now 7/10 from Quinto to Berry. We go down the drag, down to turn 5, the long sweeping left.
Stay on the top 3.
Always an interesting entry on that corner. You have to turn in a lot earlier or later than you think.
Yeah, they're looking super strong coming out of turn 7, heading out that short straightaway to turn 8. All up on the wheel, trying to get a little bit of a gap from Mateo as they head into turn 8.
A little wide on exit from the both of them. Looks like they're carrying a lot of speed going through there. Flat out through this long bowl section down to the top of the track.
That draft is really killing Mateo. He definitely needs to find a drafting partner pretty soon. Looks like David was not quite as fast as Mateo that last time by, but maybe he could pick up the pace here. Try to squeeze into that 3rd position. We do have a long race ahead of us.
For sure. Ybarra's been fast all weekend as well, even in both classes. Definitely one to be competitive. Just see if he has enough time and enough speed to make it back up to the leaders.
Yep. This time by, looks like Derek Wargo goes purple with a 109.2. Mateo Quinto about 4/10 slower. But David Ybarra about 2.5 seconds back from Mateo is still 2/10 slow from Mateo. So you might have to pick up the pace. I mean, that is a pretty large gap to close, but we do have a long race here. This is only the first couple opening laps.
Yeah, they're just trying to get settled right now, just trying to figure out the rhythm and start working together and try to build a gap.
Davis Henry back in 6th place is having a nice run. He's up 5 positions into the 6th spot, trying to run down Carson Berry, but he does have a small 1.3 second gap to close into that 5th position.
Yeah, Henry had a little bit of a hairy heat either earlier today or yesterday where he had to start. That's probably the reason he had to start a little bit back. He has the speed to be up front, but a little bit of a back starting position doesn't really help him that much.
Yeah, well, he's doing very well, up 5 positions.
Bumper to bumper going into turn 10. They are pushing.
Let's pick up the battle for P4. Bronco, pick it up.
Here's your battle for P4. That looks to be David Ybarra and Carson Berry.
That's a pair that looks like they're definitely going to work together to get up to David or to get up to Quinto.
Yeah, they are starting to close that gap a little bit out of time. They were about half a second quicker than Mateo that last time by. If they keep working together like this, it's very possible that they could start to catch Mateo here pretty shortly.
Yeah, and the draft is so crucial here. The fact that they're going to be able to work together is going to be huge for them. Oh, but Berry goes off.
Carson dropped a tire and went off track.
Oh, no,
that's going to hurt him a lot. Looks like he just isn't quite settled in yet. These first couple laps have been pretty rough for him.
I mean, hopefully he's not too frustrated. As long as he keeps hitting his marks and stays relaxed, he'll be able to catch right back up. They definitely have the speed for it. They've shown that all weekend.
He's heading back down the straightaway towards turn 10.
Little off the apex there. Tire's probably just a little dirty from going off track.
He's definitely a little bit frustrated, that's for sure. There is Davis Henry, the man himself. He's had a pretty couple rough runs, but he is up 5 positions, just ran the fastest time that he's done yet. A bit faster than Carson since he did drop a tire, but I think he's hoping to pick up a few more spots.
For sure, my man is rolling right now. He's definitely putting on the charge, trying to catch up to Carson Berry, especially after those mistakes. Made it a little bit easier for him. Maybe he can catch the draft here in the next couple laps, but it's looking good.
Yeah, he's starting to close up that gap for sure, especially with that big mistake. But Carson definitely has his sights set on David Ybarra, trying to close up that gap to 4th place. Back on your screen is Mason Berry and Derek Wargo, the fight for 1st place. Looks like they're pushing well together, keeping that gap more and more big from Mateo Quinto.
Hard drafting. We've been seeing so much drafting all weekend. Even the 2 driver pairs have just been absolutely crazy in every class, it seems like.
Yeah. They head down towards turn 3 now as they pass that start-finish line again. They're staying nose to tail. Nothing really is breaking them up. I think Derek's in a very comfortable position. He just wants to push away, make this just a 2-kart battle when it comes to the end. Obviously, we still have a long way to go. We're only 6 laps in. So I think they just want to make this a 2-kart battle for the win.
Yeah, for sure. It's a smart move by both of the drivers. That's where you need to be. As long as you have nobody else and just battling just that one person, it's a mano-a-mano fight.
That time by, David Ybarra goes purple with a 109.1. He has begun to close up that gap to Mateo Quinto, now down to 1.4 seconds. That time by was about half a second faster, so I think he's definitely starting to close up that gap. We still have a lot of time. We'll see if he can make a battle for 3rd.
Yeah, Ybarra is on the charge right now, as well as Davis Henry. Both of those guys charging through the field, trying to make up more spots. Ybarra's already up 2. Henry's up 5 to P6. It's looking good for these 2 guys. They're looking fast. Hopefully there's enough time and enough speed for them to catch back up and gain more spots.
Yeah, the Arcane Motorsports driver, he's doing very well. He's been very strong at the last couple races. In TK, I believe he won. So I think this is going to be good. If he can secure a top 3 finish, it'll be good for the points for sure. And obviously, I think Arcane will be very excited for that.
Absolutely. He's been doing really well this weekend. Super fast, really consistent, just been in a couple bad places at the wrong time. But he's able to do it. He's capable.
Looks like Mason and Derek are still pushing away. Not really any idea of passing, I don't think yet. I think They're just kind of going with the flow, letting the time run out before Derek tries to go for anything.
Let's follow the leader right now until the end. No reason to make any crazy moves or anything like that. You don't want to have to jeopardize your race so early on in.
Yeah, they're just playing it safe. They head down towards turn 10. Still looking really good on that bumper. Coming around through turn 11. Down through turn 12 and heading back up through turn 1. They're looking super strong, super comfortable.
That team fell in 127 is looking quite racy now. It looks like he pulled a little bit of car length gap to to Wargo. Not too hairy, but not good for Wargo. You don't want to have to lose that draft.
Yeah, I think it'll be very difficult to lose the draft, but if Mason Berry can keep pulling out a cart length or two out of some of these hairpins, it could definitely make it more difficult for Wargo to be on the bumper throughout the whole circuit.
For sure. I mean, it seems like consistency is Barry's Barry's strong suit right now. He's put in every lap, hitting every single one of his marks, which is exactly what you want to see out of your driver.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job of staying calm and comfortable. I think that's super important right now, is just to not get too fired up, not get too antsy. It does look like we have a few go-karts off track. The 140 of Juan Jose Paramo is off track. He was caught in that wreck, and it looks like that also the 121 of Jordan Bell is also off track. They had to retire early due to that large crash here on the front straightaway.
Let's pick up the 7th place car of Emmett, 116. He's going to be in the 7th position.
On your screen now is the 116 of Emmett Eddles. He's in the 7th position.
Emmett's had a tough weekend this weekend. He usually has the speed. He was fast in NTK, but it's just not working out too well for him this weekend so far.
He's got a strong battle going on with Matthew Duquette in the 8th position, who's currently up one position in the 198. Matthew's also looking super strong. It looks like that Arcane driver of Emmett Eddles might have a little bit of competition for the 7th position.
Should be an interesting race to play out.
Yep, they head through turn 5. Emmett's still got a nice strong gap as they go through 6. Down through the left-hander in 7. Matthew was able to close up about a half a cart length. We'll see if this draft can help him out.
It looks like Matthew was just a little bit narrower through 7. Maybe getting a little bit of speed down that little short chute there.
Emmett looks super strong coming out of 8. Was able to open up that gap very big to about 6th or 7th cart lengths. Obviously, Matthew might have made a mistake there, or I'm not too sure what happened, but
I mean, you can see what happens when you make mistakes at this track. Everything chains into the straightaway. Straightaways are everything here.
looks like Matthew might not know nobody's behind him. He tapped a little bit on his helmet, but he's got a pretty large gap, about a 5-second gap to Bristol Bourneman, who's running in the 9th position.
Going back to your leaders now, still Wargo and Barry, P1, P2, nose to tail. Going into turn 5, keeping it nice and tidy, not making any crazy moves.
They are consistently faster than Mateo every single lap by, so I don't really think Mateo can catch unless he finds a partner. Obviously, David Ybarra ran about the same time. He's not really catching, so I think it'll be difficult for them to catch the leaders. Something really crazy would have to happen.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see the Ybarra fall off just a little bit, considering how fast he was. He's still the holder of the purple lap. He's still fast. Maybe just made a little bit of a mistake that lap.
Yep. Looks like the leaders are heading back down towards turn 10. Still nose to tail, not really any thought of passing yet.
Wargo's just waiting. He just ran his fastest lap. Tires are looking good for him. He's just waiting. He's just being patient, which is exactly what you want to see. Smart race from him so far.
Yeah, he is one of the ones running double duty in both 206 and Mini Swift, so he's got to be a little tired on the day. It is pretty hot out here, but it looks like he's doing well. He's comfortable. He's not really making too many mistakes. So we did just have lunch break, so he probably ate something.
Man, probably took a little nap or something like that. I know I would be.
Yeah, it's definitely hot out here.
It's good. The extra track time he's getting, too, doing double duty is probably helping him out a lot.
Yeah, he can fix his mistakes between the two. I think we see a lot of drivers doing that nowadays in both the junior categories, senior categories, pretty much everything now. So
yeah, it pays dividends to have that little bit of extra track time. Absolutely.
That last time by, Mateo put 1/10 up on the leaders, so he could be catching slightly.
The gap is still 1.7, still quite a bit of a gap. Ybarra did not catch any more that lap. Quinto pulled 3/10 from Ybarra that time by.
Leader still looking super good, super comfortable, pushing as they come down through towards turn 1. Deep in the braking zone. That's turn 10. My fault. Now they're
going down into turn 3. That chicane is so fun, but it's so easy to mess up on. If you hit the curb just a little wrong at the wrong angle, wrong height, you get thrown off track super easy here.
10 down turns 6. Making their way to 7. And now that lies. Little straightaway. Stretch out their legs a little bit. Looks like Mason was able to pull about a half a car length gap, but Derek closes that up as they head into the braking zone. They make their way through turn 8. We still see Mateo a little bit in the screen here and there. He's not too far back, about 2.2 seconds. He's definitely going to have to pick up the pace a little bit if he wants to close.
For sure. It looks like Quinto and Ybarra are just kind of playing the accordion game a little bit. 1 minute they'll catch, 1 minute they'll go apart. It's interesting. They just need to be a little bit more consistent. Maybe David will be able to catch him.
Yeah, that last time by, David was about 2/10 faster than Mateo. Just looks like one will be a little faster one lap, and then the other one will take control. It's not really like one is certainly faster every single lap.
Makes it that much more difficult to catch the person ahead.
Yeah. Looks like your leaders are heading towards turn 3. We are 11 laps in. Still looking very comfortable, not really worried about anybody else. They do have a solid gap to Mateo. Looks like everybody's starting to kind of stretch their legs a little bit. Not a ton of battling going on. Just kind of working together, trying to catch the person in front of them.
For sure. This battle between Wargo and Barry are just going well. I'm excited to see how it's going to end up. I know that Wargo's been waiting this whole time, and I know he's be itching to make that move when it's come time.
Yeah, I think he's probably studying Mason Barry right now, trying to figure out where his biggest mistakes are being made, where Derek feels faster on the go-kart track as they make their way through turn 10, back down through turn 11 and 12. Looks like we're going to get 2 to go this time by. 2 to go. Things should start getting interesting here.
We'll see if Barry decides he wants to defend this time by. Got a little bit of a gap, got a little bit of a cushion behind him. But you know Wargo's there. He's got the speed.
2 to go. Our leaders just got 2 to go. We still see Mateo Quinto right there in the back, but that gap is not really getting any shorter, any bigger. He's kind of just staying there, running about similar times as the leaders. Looks like Mason gives a quick look back to Derek Wargo, see just about how good of a gap he has, and realizes he doesn't have much.
See how it goes coming out of this corner. So crucial is turn 7. Leads throughout the entire rest of the lap. Get that right, you'll be fast.
Mason gives another quick look back at Derek, trying to see if he's going for the pass, but not yet. Derek's still staying in tucked, going through turn 8 as they make their way through turn 9. Right on the bumper, not really giving him any room to breathe. He's looking really confident.
And Barry just doesn't need to worry too much about what's behind him. He just needs to worry about where he can be passed and defending at the right places.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like he went to block at all. Feeling super good. He's still keeping that track open. I think he knows that this next lap is the most crucial.
Going down the end of the straightaway. This last turn, turn 10. Coming to see the white flag this time by. Let's see what Barry can do. Let's see what Wargo can do.
White flag is out. Yeah, will he make a move? That's the biggest question right now.
Hopefully one that's nice and calculated, nothing too crazy. You don't want to have to lose any of those drivers.
Derek Wargo looks to be right on that bumper. Looks like Mason
wide.
Barry went to block a little bit. Derek went wide.
Ooh.
It looks like he messed up that corner a little bit.
That could be tough for the end of the race. Huge implications on that corner.
Looks like Mason might be blocking down, going into that short straightaway between turn 8.
Brings Wargo right back up to him as they go down the long bowl of turn 9.
Mason's got a little bit of a gap, about a kart length or so, as they head down in that straightaway.
It's looking good for Barry at this moment. You know, Wargo made that little bit of mistake in 7, but here we go with the draft on the straightaway. Gives him a little tap going into 10.
Derek didn't try to go for the pass. He just pushed him, and now they head through turn 11 through turn 12. We're heading on to the last corner on the circuit. Will Derek be able to pull out a pass?
Ooh,
looks like he might be looking towards the inside. Ooh. Oh, he goes to the outside as Mason Barry blocks, goes a little bit too wide, and he does not get it.
Great effort from Wargo
Mason Barry is your winner. For round 4 of Texas Sprint Series in the Mini Swift class, Derek Wargo will take home P2, Mateo Quinto will bring home P3, David Ybarra in P4, P5 will be Carson Berry, P6 will be Davis Henry, P7 will be Emmett Eddles, and Matthew Duquette will bring home P9. Bristol Borman will bring home P9.
Great race there. I wish that Walker didn't make that little bit of a mistake at the end. It was good.
All right, we'll catch you guys back after the commercial break.
Looking for a top-level team environment that fits your budget? Look no further than AMAX Racing. We cater to customers around the country who want driver coaching, tuning assistance, hospitality, track support, and a family race environment. Our race schedule has support available at all levels, from club and regional series across the Midwest to top-tier events such as the TKNA Grand Nationals, the U.S. Pro Kart Series, and the Scooter Pro Tour. Whatever level you may be at or want to get to, AMAX Racing can get you there. Welcome back here live for the Texas Sprint Racing Series from Amarillo Kart Circuit. You just heard Cameron Reed and Riley Cann on the mic. My name is Xander Clements, on here with Riley again for the 206 senior class here, presented by Cruise Racing Development. The Mini Swifts, presented by the Alan Ruoff Racing Academy, just wrapped up Mason Berry. A great final lap, final corner duo with Derek Wargo, just comes out on top. Wargo went to the top side, couldn't fully get the crossover or the around the outside done. Again, for a racetrack here, Riley, as you know, that doesn't get run other than this event each year, you don't imagine a lot of grip going down, and especially not a lot of grip going down off the preferred racing line. For sure.
Well, you know that they had just repaved this track not too long ago and added a whole lot more grip to it. We came here and tested over COVID and ended up gaining about 1.5 seconds in lap time from the resurfacing.
Which, again, a beautiful racetrack here in Amarillo, Texas. It's awesome that we get to come here with the Texas Sprint Racing Series each and every year. The 206 seniors, well, at least the front two that'll line up first and second, have made it a pretty easy-going day for them so far. Braxton Trigg and Macon Moore, a couple of American-made go-karts on the front row. They've pushed together, pulled away in all their heat races, heat 1 and heat number 2, and they were able to go 1-2 throughout nearly every session this weekend. They've got the field together nice and slow. Tyler Stevens and Kelvin Ching will make up row number 2. Caden Wolf and Bryce Frank, row 3. Mikey Boland, Sally Mott, row 4. For the 206 seniors, presented by CRD, our second main event of the afternoon. On the power early, we're green. Kelvin Ching with a great start from 4th. He'll drop down, and he gets over top of Macon Moore. Everyone's involved in the first couple rows except for Braxton Trigg. Ching went down the inside. The right rear tire caught on Macon Moore, and he went up over the front nose of Moore and then collected as well Tyler Stevens. So second, third, and fourth in the very first corner get taken out, and now Caden Wolf from way back in the pack has moved up to second. Mikey Boland to third, Ethan Wolf to fourth, Bryce Frank into fifth, and it's a big-time lead already for the championship points leader, Braxton Trigg, Riley.
Yeah, this is going to be easy going for Braxton Trigg. He just has to be perfect and not make any mistakes now. It's his race to lose.
Now, that said, we've seen Braxton Trigg and Macon Moore be above the field when it comes to working together, but with Caden Wolf and Mikey Boland linked up, Braxton Trigg obviously a couple seconds up the road. However, he is alone at a track that is so draft dependent in every single class we go to. We've been harping on it all weekend long. The straightaways are extremely lengthy here. Will these two, if they stay hooked up, be able to run down this guy right here? Braxton Trigg takes a look back, sees a lot of space out there, probably not sure why. Maybe you heard a bit of tire screeching there in turn number 1, but look at the gap here to start for your championship leader, Braxton Trigg. He'll head into turn number 1, put 1 lap down. 1 minute, 20 seconds in out of the 16 plus 2 laps. And look at this gaggle back here of a couple drivers trying to come forward. Macon Moore picks up a spot, bringing Sally Mott along with him. They're side by side in that middle group. Mott had to pop the curbing. She's going to lose momentum on the straightaway. dives it in into turn number 3. Still side by side coming out.
Uh-oh.
More
Oh,
contact. Mott gets popped in the air, and we got 2 more stuck together. The 645 of Paul Braden goes over the top. I believe that might have been either Landon Fitz or Aiden Smith. May have been on to Aiden Smith, and all in all, this 206 senior race, they played pretty nice all weekend here, and they have just let it loose here in the main event.
It's carnage now. These guys have been keeping it so cool over the whole weekend so far. Now seeing them all just wrecking each other, it's insane.
It's wild here. So 2.5 seconds is the gap. Braxton Tragg, your leader. Caden Wolf, Mikey Bolin, they were either on pace or a little bit slower than the leader on the opening circuit. Now with the second lap underway, tires starting to get warmed up. Of course, you're going lower pressures than normal to try and last for the whole 16 minutes plus 2 laps main event. Ethan Wolf is coming along there in the number 2. He was purple last time by. He could make it a 3-car pushing train up in this group for second. And if they stay hooked up, if Caden Wolf can hit his marks, put some really good laps together, they might be able to make some headway. We'll get a good idea of where they are right now when they come across the loop. Braxton Tragg, a 14.8, a 14.7 for Mikey Bolin and Caden Wolf, and a 14.4 for Ethan Wolf. So a tenth better, knocks that gap from 2.5 down to 2.4 seconds. They need a little bit more than a tenth per lap to get there by the end of this thing. The draft will help when they get within about 6 or 7 tenths, but that's kind of the number. They need about a tenth and a half to 2 tenths per lap if they want to catch Braxton Tragg before this thing's all over, because it will not be a 25-lapper.
No, I mean, Tragg's been the man to beat all weekend, and they have to work together, and they have to get that draft dialed in to catch him up.
They're going to have to dig pretty hard here to try and find the speed they need to fight for the lead and the race win. Ethan Wolf was gaining. He's faded back a little bit here. Mikey Bolin and Caden Wolf pulled back a little bit on him in the back sector of the racetrack. They'll link up again on that long stretch to turn at number 10, coming out of that sweeping full throttle left-handed sweeper in turn number 9. Then they'll round our camera right here, turns 10 and 11, and another long straightaway, but they're disconnected to start it. They need to be a little bit closer. Mikey Bolin's got to be on the bumper of Caden Wolf for this to work, for them to run down the fastest driver of the weekend, who, like you said, Riley, has been the man to beat since we got onto the racetrack on Friday morning. Braxton Tragg has been phenomenal. However, I think the gap went down again. 1:15.1 for Tragg, a 1:14.3 for Caden Wolf. That gap's down to 1.6 seconds.
Tragg might not have it that easy, man.
Maybe not here. It'd be interesting to see what Macon Moore can do. Here he is, again, the driver that got collected. You can look at that nose cone, bent up left front bumper, bent up nose cone off to the side. 6 seconds back. Oh, man.
Bit of bicycling there.
Got up in the air a little bit of wild action on the grip. Like you said, Riley, we talked about it right when we went green. This resurface racetrack, a lot of grip built into it.
A lot of it.
A lot of grip right now for the 611.
Yeah, you can see it. We've been having problems with that even through the last race in NTK. A lot of bicycling issues.
6 and 7.
It shows you how much grip there is in these karts.
Yeah, a lot of grip built into the go-karts here. The Avinco Reds stick into the hot summer surface here in Amarillo. In the heat of August, we are well underway here with this 206 senior main. Now, going back to find a few more drivers in the field here. Sally Mott and Ibrahim Dean right there in 8th and 9th. She's trailing Aiden Smith. They're trying to catch up and latch onto the coattails of Macon Moore. They were a little bit slower than Moore that time by. Moore was actually the fastest driver without a tow at a 14.9. So he's still good. That kart still, at least somehow, is still all right together. But Caden Wolf's group, Mikey Bolin, Ethan Wolf, they lop another 4 tenths off the margin this time. So I'll make it Moore's charge as there he goes again. Bicycling there, 2 tires through turn number 3. He's throwing it in deep, trying to make up lost ground.
It looks like he might have some chassis issues. Maybe it's a little bent, and that's causing all that bicycling that we're seeing.
Definitely could be there. Great shot of the inside wheel jacket. He went in a little bit less wheel input there to turn 5 this lap, I'm sure, than the last time around.
Yeah.
But again, hard to tell. There's the back of the kart obviously a little bit stiffer than the front of the go-kart, so you think Kelvin Ching probably wouldn't have too much damage to his, but Macon Moore, that went right over his left front tire, so that could have bent a tie rod, could have bent the steering column, could have tweaked the chassis like you're talking about. All things that matter in terms of both handling and, of course, straight line speed if it's cockeyed, but all credit to him. He's still put in some decent lap times. That lap was not so good. The other ones have been pretty decent. Now, Braxton Tragg goes to the fastest on the drivers on his own at a 14.6. However, that 14.2 by Caden Wolf's group is hunting him down. They've pulled away from Ethan Wolf, who's running by his lonesome there in the 4th spot. Here's a look at the gap once again from your leader, back to 2nd and 3rd. And all of a sudden, again, that distance, it's coming down. Caden Wolf can see it. Mikey Bolin knows it as well. Another 3 tenths gone. They're within a second of the race leader. 1 or 2 more laps here, right? Well, 1 more, and they'll start getting a bit of the benefit off the draft from Braxton Tregg. And it will not be an easy coast to the finish with his good buddy and basically pseudo teammate in Macon Moore that he got to see in the heat races. You got Caden Wolf aboard the Cop Kart, Mikey Bolin aboard the Red Speed OTK. Both of them ready to go and probably hyped up that they're going to have a shot at the lead for the first time all weekend.
Yeah, they're doing everything that they need to do, just working together, getting that draft, and you can see it. They're pumping away on that gap.
It is coming down. Macon Moore again that time by. Puts a good lap together. He's trying to close that gap. He's 6 seconds back. Needs a lot of battling, a lot of carnage up front to bring him into the mix. Would be a heck of a story to get taken out in turn 1 and come back and fight for a podium. Unfortunately, the only chance he's got of that is these two right here making a lot of headaches for Braxton Tregg. Looking back there, Caden Wolf, and a little signal forward. Don't worry, I'm sticking with you from Mikey Bolin. Ooh. Let's go get him.
It's close.
It's coming down. 5 car lengths the distance between turn number 1. And they'll round that corner here. Look at this, down to 2 car lengths, down to maybe a car length and a half on the front straightaway. Braxton Tregg has company for the first time all weekend. It's not the 6'11" of Macon Moore. We've got a race forming here right at the halfway marker, about 8 minutes in. Tregg signals, hey guys, I know you caught me, but push me, please. He wants to stay out in front and lead this thing to the finish. We'll see what they decide to do once they arrive here. If they start going at it, could bring Ethan Wolf back in. If you're Caden Wolf, do you want your brother in the mix there? Sometimes you think you'd want a teammate, but then, of course, brother rivalries are pretty big.
Yeah, that's just an extra position that you might lose out on battling. You know, you don't want that extra driver there. You want to make it as least amount as possible just so you can minimize any places you might lose.
And they've definitely gotten a lesson in that here between Macon Moore and Braxton Tregg, pushing for every single lap of the heat races here so far this weekend. As they work out of turn number 9 here so far, over to turn number 10. Into this tight section right here, onto the brakes. Braxton Tregg, you can see how much better he is in some of the slower sections that don't have the draft involved. He pulls away a good bit on the far side of the racetrack. When we come down here to the final corner, Braxton Tregg by a car length, down to half a car length. Here comes Caden Wolf to the bumper, stays in line. He'll push him into turn number 1.
Yeah, just staying patient now. It's halfway point through the race. They have a long ways to go still.
Here they come out of turn number 1, down to turn number 3 and 4. And the big run continues to go forward through 3 and 4 all the way through. So these 3, I imagine, will probably stay locked and loaded till the very end. 9 minutes in, still 7 minutes plus 2 laps to go. So got plenty of time still in this 206 senior main. Looking down the order on the timesheets, Macon Moore able to get around Bryce Frank to get himself into the top 5. But that gap for him up to Braxton Tregg has only opened a little bit. It stayed pretty stagnant for a little while. And look at this, Caden Wolf. He's not going to follow. He wants the lead. He'll take it away in turn number 8. Nice move by Caden Wolf there in the comp cart.
For sure. He made the move. He found his point, and he needed to do it. Now he can just rely on Tregg and Mikey Bolin just fighting together beside themselves.
Yeah, so let's see here what Caden Wolf can do out in the lead. Braxton Tregg signals to Mikey Bolin to push. Wolf wants to lead. Does Bolin want to get himself up one more spot? Go to second, try and shuffle the man that's been the fastest one all weekend further down the order. Here they come to the final turns. Mikey Bolin in line, stays in line, and Caden Wolf will lead his first lap of the entire weekend here in the main event with 6 minutes and 2 laps to go. Caden Wolf is your leader down the front straightaway.
I mean, did you think that you think it was going to be a battle like this?
Not at all, and I didn't think these two would be involved in it, and that's not a knock on Caden Wolf or Mikey Bolin. Both drivers started back 4 spots further from where they were in the 5th and 7th positions. They avoided the carnage on the opening circuit. And again, they'd been decent all weekend. They just had not been factors for the lead or the win in either of the heat races or top in the boards or near in the boards in qualifying. So it goes to show the power of just kind of being smart and playing the draft to your best ability here in 206 Senior, coming out and working out really well for these kids as they've gotten themselves into a fight for the lead and the win. Here's Tregg, though, looking inside. Big, not going to go into 9. Looked like he might have stuck a nose down the inside on Wolf. He did not there. Still pushing him that time by. I mean, it was a decent lap all in all with how much shoving they're able to do on the straightaways. So they're not necessarily giving up any time running with this formation, with Caden Wolf leading and Braxton Tregg being one of the 2 pushers behind him. It's
just one little train right there, just breaking their own air, being super fast. Looks like Bolin's just losing a little bit down the straightaways. Not sure if he does not want to fall out of that draft. No, he, again, has no safety net at all. And that right there, that little mistake, that's the last thing Mikey Bolin needed to happen here. One little bobble lets Braxton Tregg push Caden Wolf a little further away. Now his tires will be dirty through 3 and 4. It'll be tough to kind of get grip through there, which, of course, is a big setup section
for this run to turn 5. Braxton Trigg just looked back. He saw the gap starting to open. So now he's got an opportunity to make it once again a 2-car battle and push Caden Wolf away from the field, as Mikey Bolin now is on just on the brink of losing touch. He's trying to get back to him over to turn number 8.
This is exactly what Trigg wants too. He's able to space out that gap once again. He has one less car to worry about. Now he's just focused on working with Wolf and making that pass at the end. And
normally you think here with any kind of race, the leader is the man in control. Well, when it comes to the draft-based races here, especially with the smaller packs like this, Braxton Trigg is in the control seat as he runs second, has the ability to kind of separate the group there. He had to give Caden Wolf a little bit of space going into 10 and 11, but he'll get right to the bumper coming out of 11 and the run towards the final turn. Mikey Bolin needs a good next lap here. He needs to hit his marks perfect, needs to get a great exit, needs to hope that, again, Caden Wolf maybe makes a mistake and backs Braxton Trigg up, because otherwise, again, they're going to slowly inch away at this point. Down the front stretch here, you can see Bolin tucking his head down. He's trying to get a little bit out of the air.
Little slide going through 3. Not probably the best exit that Wolf was hoping for. Giving Trigg just a bit of a run going down into 5. Looks like they're going to stay in line. These guys are lapping almost faster than they have all weekend here. Braxton Trigg is all over Caden Wolf. Put him to a 14 flat. Wolf's best time, a 13.83. So they are moving right now here as the field heads for turn number 8. Yeah, This is right now here the top 3. Again, you go back through the order. No major changes overall. Ethan Wolf is losing ground to the leaders, but he's at least holding his own. Back to making more in 5th. Bryce Frank kind of just trailing him about 4/10 of a second back every single time in 5th and 6th. Sally Mott currently running in 7th. Ibrahim Dean. So pairs of kind of 2s and 3s around the racetrack right now. To give you an update on some of the other ones here, Kelvin Ching has worked his way up 1 spot past Aiden Smith, up to Tyler Stevens, the other driver involved in that wreck. There's Ethan Wolf. And here we are, we'll pick up some more as the leaders come through. Wolf coming on by in the 4th position. Jacks the car on through. He's got a boring race ahead of him, unfortunately. No help to get up to the drivers in front. There's Making More and Bryce Frank. And then you wait a little bit longer, about 10 more seconds. And coming into the final turn, Sally Mott and Ibrahim Dean will go on by as they head down the front straightaway. Up front, your update on the gap. That time, Mikey Bolin turned it back up a little bit. Caught up a 1/10 of a second. Needs 3 or 4 more perfect laps just to keep him in contention. Now, the good news for Mikey Bolin, we're getting towards the latter stages. We're going to come this time by to see probably 3 laps to go before we hit the time limit here for the 16 minutes plus 2 laps feature. And I think should put us right around a 14 or 15 lap main. As the leaders come out of turn number 9, they'll rocket over to turn number 10. We'll pick them up going into the corner. And again, it's a 4 or 5 car length gap. That's just enough. 1 block, 1 pass. We'll bring Mikey Bolin back into it at this point, and we're not far from that part of the race where Braxton Trigg might try to make a move like that. This is interesting because, Trigg hasn't really been in a position like this all weekend. He's never been the one that's pushing. He's always been the pushed. So it's interesting. He's just playing the game right now. It's a little cat and mouse. Yeah, he's being really smart about it. Again, a very experienced 206 senior driver in Braxton Trigg. This is, of course, proving why he's the guy leading the championship and looking to seal it up here today. Whether he's leading or whether he's got the opportunity to push doesn't matter for his ego, for anything of pride. He's happy to do whatever it takes to try and put him in contention for the lead and the race win come the checkered flag as the field comes through 5, 6, and 7. Yeah, so far this weekend, Trigg hasn't put a foot wrong yet. This is... he does not want to lose this. He can't get flustered in his head just because he's having the first major battle of the weekend. Yeah, he's got to be, again, very smart, very controlled about the entire deal through turn number 8 this time. Over to turn number 9. Trigg, now unfortunately as good of a pusher as he's been here for Caden Wolf, just has not been good enough here to be exactly what he needs to separate the two from Mikey Bolin. Mikey Bolin, this time by, closing up big time, gets into within a car length. Great lap in the works for Mikey Bolin. A 13.9 the lap before for the leaders. They go quicker this time. The time limit has elapsed. So at 16 minutes roughly, I believe we should be seeing the 2 to go come out here when they come to the line, and it will. 2 laps remaining. Mikey Bolin was on the verge of losing a chance to fight for victory. He's going to be in the mix of it. 2 to go. Caden Wolf, your leader here late in the stages in 206 Senior, presented by Cruise Racing Development's main event. And out of turn number 4, he looks back, signals to Braxton Trigg. All right, keep pushing me. Let's keep going. Boland's purple right now. Put in a really good lap that last time. He's ready to race. He's waiting.
Picked up 0.3 of a second on the race leaders, a 1:13.82. He climbs the curb in 7. Still got a pretty good exit. Braxton Trigg looking for help from behind. He's wanting him to push him and stick with him here for whenever he wants to make that bid for the lead on Caden Wolf. We've talked to a few drivers about this racetrack, a relatively easy racetrack to defend, but there still have been a few crossover moves we've seen even today. Look at making more right there just to the edge of the frame as well. Battling with Bryce Frank for the 5th position, final spot in the top 5. But the white flag will come out this time. 1 lap to go when they get back around to the finish line. Caden Wolf, Braxton Trigg, Mikey Boland, pick your bet. It could be any of these 3 here going into the final lap. And Braxton Trigg had a little look there, Riley. He peeked it out to the inside, thought about maybe making that move into 1 this time.
Doesn't want to be too overzealous about it. You know, you got to pick your point and be right so you can't get passed back. You know?
And again, for Braxton Trigg, we've seen a few of the K senior drivers really back up their passes to kind of make sure the guy that they're passing for the lead has to go back to 3rd or bottleneck them for 2nd. That would give him the gap he needs. Final lap underway into turn 5. Braxton Trigg, bumper of Caden Wolf. Not enough to be able to pass him into the left, right, left chicane.
Oh, it's looking good. It's looking tight. I don't see if Trigg is going to be able to make a move. There's a bit of a kart length gap between the two.
He's backed it off, but he's got help from Mikey Boland. He's signaling. He's ready to go.
Here
he comes. Turn 8.
Woo.
Inside for the lead. Braxton Trigg is through. Mikey Boland is through. Caden Wolf back to 3rd. Braxton Trigg now looking for some more drafting help from Boland. Trigg's been the quickest again all weekend. Wolf having to go wide in that corner kind of tripped him up all the way through turn number 9. It'll be these two. Mikey Boland pushing, looking for the lead. Not going to get it into 10. Trigg blocks the inside a little bit. Here comes Braxton Trigg. Can he continue his awesome streak in the 206 senior class to the checkered flag in round 4? Wolf is lurking in the background. Trigg goes to the high side. Now low side. Stays low. Boland can't find a hole. Looks. Not going to get there. Braxton Trigg pulls off the final lap victory, and he points to himself, said, yep, it's me. I am that guy, and he wins round number 4 in 206 senior. A nicely done, perfectly timed pass in turn 8, tripped Caden Wolf up, put him out of contention in the final half of the lap, and Mikey Boland, all he could do was watch as the 684 got to celebrate in front of him. Let's take it to the rest of the top 10 here for your 206 senior division presented by Cruise Racing Development. Again, Braxton Trigg, your winner over Mikey Boland, 2nd. Caden Wolf in 3rd. Ethan Wolf 4th. Making more. Wins out on the battle with Bryce Frank for the 5th spot. Frank in 6th. Sally Mont 7th. Ibrahim Din in 8th. Kelvin Ching gets all the way up with Tyler Stevens to 9th. There's problems for Landon Fitz and Aiden Smith in the later stages. Drop them down the order. Stevens ends up in 10th. So 2 main events are already wrapped, but we've got a lot more of action coming your way from Amarillo, Texas. You're watching Kart Chasers coverage of the Texas Sprint Racing Series, round number 4, the Midsummer Mashup. We'll be right back. Looking for a top-level team environment that fits your budget? Look no further than AMAX Racing. We cater to customers around the country who want driver coaching, tuning assistance, hospitality, track support, and a family race environment. Our race schedule has support available at all levels, from club and regional series across the Midwest to top-tier events such as the TKNA Grand Nationals, the U.S. Pro Kart Series, and the Scooter Pro Tour. Whatever level you may be at or want to get to, AMAX Racing can get you there.
USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com. If you're looking for top-grade equipment, look no further than Rev Performance Materials engine mounts, sprockets, and arcade chains. Available online now at RevPerformanceMaterials.com and through a dealer near you. The highest quality material, built to the highest quality standards. Rev Performance Materials.
Welcome back here to the Texas Sprint Racing Series, round 4 from Amarillo, Texas. We just wrapped up our 206 senior division presented by Cruise Racing Development. And we've got the Mirco Swifts down on the grid, presented by Western Star and Houston Freightliner. We've got our race winner from 206 senior, Braxton Trey, caught up here with Riley over in the scale area. Let's go ahead and send it over to him to catch up with how that last lap went down.
What's up, guys? I'm here with the final winner for the LO206 senior, Braxton Trigg. You had the race under control almost the whole weekend. You were the man to beat. Talk me through that race.
So on the start, I heard a lot of tires screeching, and it sounded like either somebody got in a big wreck or something bad happened. I turned around, and the whole field was in a pile, so I just went and never looked back, and eventually Caden and Mikey caught me at the end. But I just waited it out and let them overheat their tires, and at the end, came away with the win, clean sweep on the weekend.
Yeah, what did you think when they caught back up to you?
Man, I knew if they caught me, they had to be pretty fast, but I was also thinking at the same time, I don't have any draft, I'm alone, so I wasn't too concerned about it. So they caught me, Caden was in front of me, and I pretty much knew like I had enough to get up there and get the win. So I took it on last lap, and all I had to do was block one straightaway, and that was really it. Besides that, it just, everything fell into line.
Cool, man. Great job this weekend, dude. You really killed it. Yeah. See you next time.
All right, Braxton Trigg, again, an awesome performance here to continue his championship run in Cruise Racing Development 206 Senior. Again, a wild opening lap corner, and again, exactly like what we thought happened there for him with just the drivers coming together behind here and a lot of tires screeching, and then looking back a few turns later and seeing a massive, massive gap out back. And that'll shake the standings up behind him. Kelvin Ching making more in the championship fight, both of them, along with Tyler Stevens with some problems that has put them down the order. Meanwhile, though, we're getting set here for the Mirco Swifts presented by Western Star and Houston Freightliner. And we'll get set for their main event here in just a moment. So for group number 3, Colton Schnegenberg, a good run through the second heat race, able to make up for what was a wild opening heat that saw him get turned sideways in the opening corner, similar to the carnage that we saw for the 206 seniors. He's able to get himself back on the point here for the main. Cade Casper will start on the outside of row number 1. Then it'll be row 2. Matthew Cagle in the 48, who trailed Schnegenberg for a lot of heat number 2. And Aston Wyatt on the outside in 4th. Row 3 will be Liam Nachawati and Emerson Lane. Row 4, Pato Medina, Tanner Barsh. Into the tram lines, we're green and racing away down to turn number 1. Good start for the outside lane. Almost able to get clear was Cade Casper on Colton Schnegenberg, and Schnegenberg sent it deep on the inside into 1. He'll get away with a nice little lead of about 3 or 4 car lengths down to turn number 3. Make it 4-5 as Cade Casper trails him and leads the rest of the pack back towards the number 17 machine. Cameron Reed, obviously you've covered along with me this class the entire weekend. Lots of different faces have been at the front, but Colton Schnegenberg, he's been solid.
Yeah, he's been there every single race, pretty much almost every single lap. Obviously, he did.
Whoa, Matthew Cagle way off the racetrack out of turn number 7. Sorry to interrupt there. Matthew Cagle with a wild ride here on the opening lap. Dropped the tire, and it pulled him all the way off the side. It looked like, I don't think he was side by side with anyone. He crossed the line in 3rd. He'll drop back in line probably around 5th or 6th.
Yeah, he was another big name up there that's been really fast all weekend. I think Colton and Cade both have a really good chance of winning this race. I would have thrown Matthew in there too, but now he's got a hell of a drive to start coming back.
Yeah, a lot of work to be done here for Matthew Cagle, but Colton Schnegenberg able to get away with a good start here. Cade Casper right behind him. Aston Wyatt now inherits the 3rd spot. Tanner Barsh What a great start for the 51 machine. I think that's him up into the 4th position. So Tanner Barsh on the move. And we go back to find where Matthew Cagle slotted in. Well, he picks up one spot there going into turn 1. He's right now 3rd in that second group, outside the top 5. Down in the 8th position, trailing Paxton Dyson, who had to start deep in this field here for the Mirco Swifts in the number 22. He's up 2 spots so far after a rough opening lap here for Paxton Dyson. Started 9th, kind of got through a little bit, gets up to 7th here at the end of lap number 1. And the pack coming through, Tanner Barsh, a little mistake there coming out of turn 7. He's got Liam Nachawati bearing down, looking for a move, and Colton Schneegenberg, as we pick the leaders back up, has been dropped from the top spot. He's fallen back to the 3rd position. Not sure what we just missed there through 5, 6, and 7. Colton Schneegenberg down to 3rd. Cade Casper is your new leader, and Aston Wyatt's on his tail in 2nd.
We've seen these two work together a few times throughout the heat races, and I think they work very well together. They trust each other, that's for sure. So I think their kind of plan right now after seeing Colton's issue is to push away and try to leave Colton.
And again, knowing how fast Colton Schneegenberg's been alone, that's a smart strategy. Aston Wyatt glued to the back of Cade Casper. Casper will lead his first laps of the main here on lap number 2 early on. 2.5 minutes down, just about 13.5 to go. So a long time for Colton Schneegenberg to rebound, but that mistake knocks him to the outside edge of the drafting window, about 9/10 of a second back from the lead, about a second up on Tanner Barsh in the 51, who again, great start from the 8th position up to 4th for the number 51, and they've got a battle back for 4th now. Barsh under fire from Liam Nachawati. I think Nachawati was able to get by him, so Liam Nachawati able to move by Tanner Barsh, just going there into the frame in turn number 5, and he moves up into the 4th position. Indeed, Liam Nachawati picks up a spot there in the Cruise Racing Development number 80.
Looks like Colton went off again.
That was out of turn number 8. Colton Schneegenberg, our camera guy was confused trying to find him. Colton Schneegenberg dropped a tire coming out of turn number 8 this time. Went off again, and another mistake, and that is going to give a big time hole for him to dig out of. I think it might have been possible to get going with only a second to make up. He's going to have multiple seconds now to run down the leaders.
Yeah, that dropped him pretty far down the field. Now
all the way back to the 5th spot.
Right in front of Matthew Cagle, who also had some issues earlier in the race. We'll see if Matthew can get by him and try to run back up to that small group in front of him.
Yeah, he's got work to be done here. Colton Schneegenberg, that lap, crosses the line, timed 3.7 seconds back from the lead. He's got 2 drivers there in front of him right there. Tanner Barsh, Liam Nachawati. Barsh looking for some help from behind to keep up with Nachawati. And again, Matthew Cagle, like you said, getting knocked off on the first lap, or going off on the first lap. Both he and Colton Schneegenberg are just trying to make it and survive at this point right now. Cade Casper and Aston Wyatt, big time lead here back to this second group, led by Nachawati, that's now in a podium position with 4 hungry drivers behind him, going all the way back to Paxton Dyson in the 22.
Yeah, Colton's trying to hold on to that little group right there with Tanner Barsh and Liam Nachawati, but it looks like he's struggling a little bit. That draft is pulling him in. We'll see if maybe he'll go with Tanner Barsh down the inside of turn 10. Tanner Barsh now moves up into the 5th position.
Move that all the way up into 3rd for the 51 and Tanner Barsh. Look at Liam Nachawati trying to go on him, then backed out of it. Schneegenberg was looking to help. He'll get clear of Nachawati now into turn number 1. Sends it down the inside. We're 3 wide for 3rd. Look at Matthew Cagle down on the bottom. He'll cross them all up. Schneegenberg on the outside. Nachawati into 4th. What a battle here in Mirco Swift just for the final podium spot. Now they're 5.5 seconds back from Cade Casper and Aston Wyatt.
This heavy battling has definitely allowed Paxton Dyson to get a little bit closer in the mix, and I think he might be starting to make some moves here pretty shortly. That was a crazy battle in that last corner, turn 1. Coming back up, now they're heading out of turn 7, down that short straightaway. We saw Colton wanting to go back to the front. Maybe he'll start making some moves here. Looks like Liam Nachawati might be looking for the move, doesn't make it, goes a little bit wide on exit, gives Matthew Cagle a nice, good gap as he heads through turn 9.
Yeah, nice gap there for Cagle. It'll get eaten back up in the draft. Let's see if Nachawati tries to go back on him. Big run coming. Here comes Schneegenberg. He'll push Nachawati looking inside. Turn 10. Schneegenberg wants to go with him. He does. Schneegenberg to 4th. Cagle back to 5th. And Liam Nachawati now leads the train here for P3 with a big gap out front. Leaders who are setting blistering times. Schneegenberg tries again. Turn 1 inside. Cagle will follow. And Schneegenberg goes a little wide again. Cagle will go underneath them. Look at Nachawati dirt tracking it there on the outside lane.
Yeah, this is getting really crazy here. This is the most action we've seen in this class for sure all weekend. I think now it's a massive battle, about a 7-kart battle for third place. It'll be a long race.
Yeah, big gap back. Now Pato Medina's gotten up to it. So has Emerson Lane, all back for third. The leader's still well up the road with Cade Casper and Aston Wyatt pushing now. Let's see, Colton Schnegenberg's tried. Oh, problems for Nachawati. He goes around. Liam spins it just halfway out the exit of turn 7. A place that's caught a lot of drivers there at the exit of that section. That's obviously a tight rhythm back and forth, 5, 6, and 7. It's caught out multiple drivers here already in the Mirco Swift class.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to get set up from 6 to 7 to get a nice, good exit. Some kids just can't quite get set up enough on entry and go a little wide on exit. But it looks like Paxton Dyson just made the move on Tanner Barsh as they go through turn 10. He moves up into the 4th position, I believe.
4th or 5th here for Tanner Barsh and Paxton Dyson. That battle right there. Here's your leaders coming through. Cade Casper, Aston Wyatt. We'll get a first real good idea of what the gap looks like back to Matthew Cagle and Colton Schnegenberg. They still gave up half a second that lap to the leaders. 7.8 seconds back now from Cade Casper and Aston Wyatt are Colton Schnegenberg and Matthew Cagle, 3rd and 4th. There they go into picture, and then it's a big gap back to find Paxton Dyson in the 5th spot, 2.2 seconds away. Tanner Barsh in 6th, Pato Medina 7th. Nachawati's gotten back on the racetrack ahead of Byron Bourneman in the 9th position. Bourneman rounding out the current top 10. And Cameron, we're not even halfway in yet. 8 minutes in right now in the Houston Freightliner Western Star Mirco Swift main event, and a lot of action has already transpired, more than the average final for sure.
These Mircos have been putting on a show. There's no doubt about that. Cade Casper and Aston Wyatt are looking really good, just staying calm, pushing each other. They just continue to open up that gap every single lap from Matthew Cagle and Colton Schnegenberg, who also look to have a little bit of a gap down to Paxton Dyson. They've kind of linked up just like our front two have and started to push away.
Yeah, there they go down the front straightaway here. Cade Casper, Aston Wyatt through turns 1 and 2. From the finish line, 3 and 4 on the track map. Matthew Cagle, Colton Schnegenberg trying to work together. Not going to gain any bit of time that time by on the leaders. They give up another 3/10. It's up to 8.1 seconds now. A 1:10.3 for Cade Casper and Aston Wyatt, a 1:10.66 for Matthew Cagle, and a 1:10.83 for Colton Schnegenberg. So 3rd and 4th on your screen right now. Again, the Colton Schnegenberg, your pole sitter, your Heat 2 winner, looking for 3rd, turn number 8. Here he comes inside, clear on Matthew Cagle. No overshoot this time. Schnegenberg gets himself back onto the podium, and a long road forward to try and hunt down the top 2 with about half the race to go.
He gave Matthew Cagle a little tap on the helmet, says, push me. I think we could catch, but the times are speaking for themselves. Our 2 front runners are about 3/10 faster than that last time by, so we'll see if Colton Schnegenberg can maybe pick up the pace a little bit for the 2.
And that was, to be fair, in just their current formation. With Schnegenberg leading the way, maybe it'll go a little bit better. Maybe Colton Schnegenberg has more pace than Cagle and can tow him away, and Cagle can push him on the straights. Either way, again, we'll find out in a lap or 2. Dyson now looking back from him to find this 2-way battle. Emerson Lane and Tanner Barsh going at it for 6th. Lane's gotten by Barsh. Barsh back to 7th. Pato Medina is still hanging on right there in the 8th position. Great run for Pato as he has not been on camera too much this weekend. Closing up to the back of this midfield pack. Ahead of the down the road from him to Liam Nachawati, then Simon Klein. 9th and 10th as Byron Bourneman's faded back to the 11th position here on the racetrack for Mirco Swift. With 6 minutes to go now here, plus 2 laps, the battle is between 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th as 1st and 2nd are glued together, and so are 3rd and 4th here in this main.
Paxton Dyson's got a pair of teammates on his rear end trying to run him down, Emerson Lane and Tanner Barsh. But we have seen a few times that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to work together, but I feel in this case that they will. We just seen Emerson Lane kind of take a quick look back. Tanner Barsh gave him the thumbs up saying, let's go, let's get Paxton. And I think they're going to work together these next couple laps, maybe try to move up into that 5th position and take it from Paxton.
Yeah, here they go through turn number 1 this time. Paxton Dyson, 2-car length buffer back, about a straightaway behind Matthew Cagle and Colton Schnegenberg. That time, Dyson a 1:11.3 loses a little bit to Emerson Lane, who's hunting him down, like you said, just a touch.
Lane was 3/10 better than Dyson that time by. What a lap time as well for the leaders. Cade Casper just went purple, a 109.92. Aston Wyatt also at a 109.9. Colton Schniegenberg at a 110.4. So Schniegenberg not any better at leading than Matthew Cagle. They're still half a second off of the lap times being hit by Cade Casper and Aston Wyatt. What an awesome job here by Cade Casper and Aston Wyatt to pull away from all the drivers in the Micro Swift class. Now it's going to be double digits for third on back. They were 9.4 seconds out here with still 4.5 minutes remaining plus 2 laps.
Yeah, right now on your screen is your battle for fifth. It's a 4-cart-way battle. It looks like Paxton still has a little bit of room, but that draft definitely is not helping him out. It's bringing Emerson Lane in every single time we get onto a straightaway. But Paxton's doing a good job at driving good and clean, hitting his marks in the infield, making sure that gap doesn't close too much.
Speaking of gaps here, you can't find a way to kind of puncture the air between Aston Wyatt and Cade Casper. Aston Wyatt has been an awesome soldier here to work with him this entire main. They are running a blistering and unmatched pace at the moment. Another half second added onto the margin back to Colton Schniegenberg and Matthew Cagle. They've still got 5 seconds back to this middle group here that we've been following a good bit of the race for. Barsh and Lane there, 6th and 7th. 5th on the racetrack, leading the pack is Paxton Dyson in the Kart Republic. Has not been passed yet, but has not had a ton of pressure from them. They've been laying back, not intentionally by any means, but not been able to break through this bubble of about 3 car lengths to the rear bumper of the number 22 is on the other end, Pato Medina. All over Tanner Barsh here. Big run coming on the back straightaway to turn number 10. He'll push him, though. Pato happy to give him a little bit of shove. Closes the gap back up to turn number 10 to the driver in 6th in Emerson Lane.
Yeah, Pato was able to push Tanner Barsh right up to his teammate of Emerson Lane. Looks like they're not really catching too much on Paxton, though. Paxton was able to pull a little bit away. And as they head through turn 10, I believe, no, that's turn 1. As they head through turn 1 and back onto that front straightaway, Paxton's got a nice, good buffer of air. And I think he's really hoping that they can't close that gap too much.
Every lap it kind of goes back and forth. Paxton Dyson, he'll gain a 10th, then give up 2. Gain a 10th, gain 2, then give up 3. So it just kind of rubber bands a little bit the margin for him back to Emerson Lane. But at least right now, again, it's big enough he doesn't have to worry. 4.5 tenths the margin that time by the stripe for P5 to P6 on the circuit. We're coming to about 2 minutes to go now here, plus 2 laps. Still waiting to see if we get any more action for the Micro Swift drivers in this middle group. Cade Casper is still leading the way over Aston Wyatt. Wyatt has not made a single try to even go for the lead and the win yet. Obviously, yet being the important word. We think we'll probably see the last 2 laps when that double stick signal comes up that then Aston Wyatt will want to go. But with 2 minutes before that moment, I don't see the number 21 making any bids for the lead. It's been a flawless drive for both of these drivers, all things considered, with how crazy the opening couple laps were.
Yeah, I think he's just staying comfortable, trying not to overheat his tires right now, knowing that he needs everything that they have left in those last 2 laps. Will try to set up a nice pass on Cade Casper. He's just sitting comfortable, hitting his marks, not driving too hard. They have a massive gap. They don't need to be putting down the fastest laps on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, but even with that, again, they're putting down heaters that are quicker than the rest of the field. 12 laps in, the gap now 10.5 seconds back to Colton Schniegenberg in 3rd. Matthew Cagle 4th, Paxton Dyson in 5th as they round turn number 9. Here they go on the run over from 9 to 10. Cade Casper, Aston Wyatt, 1st and 2nd. Still single file, no change. Not going to be one again probably till we get to the final stages. It'll be 3 laps to go this time by because we'll get 1 more lap in before the timer expires on the 16-minute clock and the 2 to go signal will come out. So here comes Cade Casper, Aston Wyatt into the final turn. And around we go. 3 laps remaining in Amarillo for the Micro Swifts, one of the youngest classes on the TSRS structure. And Cade Casper and Aston Wyatt, neither driver here super stellar heat race results, obviously. Colton Schniegenberg won the heat race earlier this morning. And then you go back to yesterday afternoon to kick things off for the heat races in Micro Swift. That one did go to Casper, but his second heat was just only decent. As for Aston Wyatt, he's kind of been there inside the top 5 all weekend long. Been close, and both of them, I would say, have been good. Casper especially obviously good yesterday afternoon, so no surprise to see him good in the afternoon here on Sunday as well. But while they round turn 8, head for turn number 9,
a big upturn on the weekend with Matthew Cagle and Colton Schneegenberg well out of contention. And even if they were in contention, who knows if they would have the pace to run with these two for the lead. Time charts would tell you no at a half-second or bigger delta from first and second's consistent lap times down to the times being hit by third and fourth on the circuit. 2 to go, coming this time by. 2 more laps for your race leaders, Cade Casper, Aston Wyatt. Does Casper start to block? As soon as he gets that time to burn, over 11 seconds back to third and fourth. Across the line, he'll take the normal racing line to turn number 3.
Yeah, you got to give these kids a lot of credit as they're heading into those last couple laps. They've got to be super tired. It's super hot out here. So I think Aston's just trying to stay comfortable. You never know. He might be looking for the pass pretty early here. They're staying nose to tail as they head through 5, 6, and 7. No really looks for a pass yet, but this is a big passing zone that they're coming up on right now. Aston might look. He looks to the inside as they head into turn 8.
Here he comes, Aston Wyatt to the lead for the first time here this weekend in the main event, and the number 21 Beryl Art is able to get by on the former race leader Cade Casper, who's led every lap thus far in the 55 machine. So now we've got a fight on our hands. When does Casper go back on him? Staying looking, maybe turn 10. He's not going to go there. Aston Wyatt, we'll see the white flag come out this time by. One more lap here as he goes to the low side, going to the shorter way around the long bend into the final corners. Wyatt will cover the inside a bit. Casper to the outside. Deep on the brakes through 1. No change. White flag in the air. Aston Wyatt is your leader. Cade Casper looking to the outside into 3. Maybe sending it deep. Not deep enough. But a great move around the outside in 4. Cade Casper to the lead with a big stretch over to turn number 5.
Looks like Aston hit a little bit of that curb coming through turn 3, and it just kind of slowed him down. Cade Casper's got a nice gap as they head through 5, 6, and 7.
Such a narrow entry to turn number 3 for Aston Wyatt. For Cade Casper, it was a wide opening behind him, and then he crossed him up, went around the outside in turn number 4. Now again, we'll look to see if there's any other changes down really quickly. Colton Schneegenberg pulled away from Matthew Cagle, so third and fourth are basically locked in. Paxton Dyson to the same to Emerson Lane's group. Fourth and fifth locked in. And Pato Medina still battling a little bit, but as a whole, what a day, what a pass here for Cade Casper. One heat, one bit in the morning today. Over to the final few corners for Mirco Swift, presented by Houston Freightliner and Western Star, round number 4 of the championship. It will go the way of the number 55 here in Amarillo. Cade Casper wins in Mirco Swift.
That was a crazy last lap. We seen the little hiccup that Aston made in turn 3, but you could tell Cade was feeling the pressure. He kept looking back a lot to make sure.
Paxton Dyson 5th, Emerson Lane 6th, Pato Medina 7th, Tanner Barsh, Liam Nachawati, Simon Klein, and Byron Bornman round off your field for Houston Freightliner, Western Star, Mirco Swift. With that one down, we go from one of the younger classes to still a relatively young one in the 206 junior division, presented by Seville Electric. Reagan Seville, I joked with him on the grid earlier as well, said, man, we need to give you a last to first challenge. He's been so dominant in that division. Can anyone knock him off? We're going to find out when we come back.
Kart Store USA is a kart parts supplier that racers and retailers can count on when they need reliable advice and service. We focus on servicing all racers with honesty and pride while maintaining customer satisfaction. We carry a full stock of Kart Republic and Tony Kart chassis, as well as IAMI and Vortex Rock engines. We've also got a host of other parts available and in stock, such as products from Rev Performance Materials, Jecco Racing Seats, and more. We have a 100% satisfaction guarantee, and on top of that, if your order exceeds $200, shipping is on us. Check out all we have to offer today by visiting us online at kartstore-usa.com. As the Western importer of the Praga and Formula K chassis brands, Leading Edge Motorsports is a high-performance kart shop and race team with a simple mission: teach others the joy of high-performance driving, supply our customers with the highest quality products and services, and most of all, win races. With our remarkable racing inventory, expert services, and top-ranked national-level team to back it up, we'll help to get your new kart racing package up and running fast. From arrive and drive service to kart preparation and driver coaching to the parts you need to get you back on the racetrack, Leading Edge Motorsports is the industry answer.
Hannah Greenemeyer is going to score the final win of the U.S. Pro Kart Series. Hayden Jones is a national race winner. Nate Cicero wins.
Four-time champion Ryan Norberg winning Super Nationals 24.
Winner, winner, winner.
Are you ready to join one of North America's winningest driver development programs? Rollison Performance Group offers fully customizable packages that are meant to take your game to the next level. For more information, head to rollisonperformancegroup.com.
Seville Electric here, 206 junior getting the green flag, and they are underway for the main, and a couple drivers on the inside have to pop the curbing. They will get through cleanly. Reagan Seville with a nice start here to this one. Gets a little bit of a gap back to the 464 of Parker Fitz. Keep your eye on Jensen Harrell, who lined up third. He was kind of the next best driver throughout most of this weekend, and unfortunately got sent off the racetrack at the start of the second heat race. Spent a lot of it working his way back forward. Rolled off third, is third here at the conclusion of half a lap in to the race so far, and tucked up behind fellow Bureau Light driver in Parker Fitz as they try to push towards Seville into turn number 8.
Yeah, I mean, if I were them, to be honest, I would be trying to get in front of Reagan as fast as possible. They know he's fast. They know he can be fast on his own and walk away from the field. So if I were them, I'd be trying to hold him up a little bit. Maybe find me something that I'm doing wrong that I can keep with him.
Yeah, anything they can do here. They got to make a pass on Seville early. If they go and push him, not much will happen. They'll push him into turn number 10 here on the opening lap. Staying with him so far behind the top three. Lots of passing going on. Alfred Alvarez del Castillo started fourth. Ian Columbus fifth. Sawyer Roussell's got a chip on his shoulder after crashing out of heat number 2. He's up into fifth right now behind del Castillo. So into turn 1. No change for the lead. Lots of pass attempts going back as Ian Columbus climbs the curb. Tried to go to the inside of Sawyer Roussell. Could not do it. He backs off about 5 car lengths away by turn 3.
Sawyer felt like he had a lot of speed this weekend, but obviously that rough finish in Heat 2, that DNF, didn't really help with that situation. I think he's going to try to get through past Alfred here pretty soon and maybe even try to tag up with these top 3, but he's going to have to pick up the pace.
Well, with all that said here, we've got the race on the racetrack we'll continue to focus on. Let's send an audio interview really quickly. Cade Casper, what an awesome main event here to cap off the weekend. Gets the win at round number 4. He's over with Riley.
What's up, guys? I'm here with the Mirco Swift final winner, Cade Casper. Cade, you drove a great race today. How'd it go for you?
Pretty good. Just tried to win, and I did.
Yeah, you didn't really make any mistakes. You were super fast the whole time. I mean, what did you think about the guy behind you pushing you?
It's my friend, so we just wanted to help each other pull away from third and fourth, just try and both battle and all that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Great job this weekend. Congratulations on your win, and we'll see you for the next race.
All right, that's Cade Casper there with Riley Can. And obviously, like he said, him and Aston Wyatt work together well. Good buddies off the racetrack. Rocks the interview, rocks the checkered flag. He is your winner here in the Mirco Swift division as we work our way over towards the final corner here to put another lap on in. 3 laps complete, over to turn number 5. Reagan Seville has not been able to shake Parker Fitz and Jensen Harrell. They've made strides over the course of this weekend, and we've seen that in some of their heat races, especially even today, Cameron, where by the end of the race, they were able to match the pace of Reagan Seville. He wasn't untouchable. It was just at the very beginning, whether they'd battle, some crash would happen, or they were just struggling on cold tires. They couldn't keep up with the GFC driver. He'd build a big gap, then the gap would kind of stagnate, hold even at 3 or 4 seconds from lap 5 to the checkered flag. At this point right now, they're doing exactly what they need to do to hold on to him, and they could make this one a very interesting main event. 2.5 seconds back from the top 3 to find the rest of the pack right now. That's still shuffling a little bit as Sawyer Roussel was able to get by Alfred Alvarez del Castillo for 4th. Ian Columbus 6th. Shelby Ramirez still 7th. But the top 3 linked up as they go down to turn number 1. 3 laps complete, 4 minutes in. This time by the stripe. Here's the group behind. Sawyer Roussel goes through, and Ian Columbus trying to get by Alfred Alvarez del Castillo. The Kart Racing Solutions teammates are currently 5th and 6th on the racetrack right now, with Shelby Ramirez right in tow.
Sawyer's definitely in a rough spot. You know, he's sitting in that 4th place. He's got a large gap to the top 3, and he's got a little bit of a gap to 5th and 6th behind him. He doesn't really have any help to go catch those front runners, especially when Jensen Harrell just goes purple with a 1:14.6 in 3rd place. He is the fastest go-kart on the track currently, making it very difficult for Sawyer to even try to close that gap.
Yeah, Sawyer Roussel lost 1.2 seconds that time by to the race leaders by himself versus that 3-car draft train. So no shot, unfortunately, for Sawyer Roussel really to get to the leaders without a big catastrophe or a red flag, as we see Del Castillo, Columbus, Ramirez on your screen headed towards turn number 10. No change, though. Nothing we missed up at the front. Reagan Seville, Parker Fitz, Jensen Harrell doing much of the same. Getting into line, riding here. You'll see a lot of this through the main, where they're just going to kind of cruise on around until we get to the final few laps. 5 minutes in, 11 minutes to go in Seville Electric 206 Junior.
Yeah, this one's looking a little bit different than the others, though. Obviously, Reagan's got a little bit of pressure on him. Before, he has just been out on his own, able to keep that gap like we talked about a little bit earlier. Right now, you can tell he's got pressure on him. He knows they're there, but he still wants to lay on the fastest laps he can, drive clean. You see a quick look back to Parker Fitz, sees, oh, crap, he's still there. We got to keep going, got to keep pushing. I think he's feeling the pressure, but he's been in this situation before, especially in the K100. He knows he can handle it.
Absolutely, and again, a driver that's locked up the championship already in 206 Junior. That pressure and weight is lifted off his shoulders already going into round number 4 of the season. So he's been dominant. He's been perfect every session. Qualified on the pole. Led every lap to the win in Heat 1. Did the same in Heat number 2. He's led every lap so far in the main, but this is the closest challenge that we've seen with Jensen Harrell and Parker Fitz being able to kind of hang with him, ride behind, sit in the toe, and right at the end of the straightaway every once in a while, give him a little love tap in the braking zone. Remind him he's got company out back. I'm curious to see when they want to go by him. When do they want to go for the lead, or will they push him through till the white flag waves in 206 Junior? We're 6 minutes in, lots of time left, lots of time to experiment again as well. Their gap back to Sawyer Roussel continues to grow. Roussel got a little bit quicker the last time by a 1:15.2 to the leaders at high 114s or 115 flats. That time by a 14.6 for Reagan Seville, a 111.89 for Sawyer Roussel. So pulls another 1.5 seconds out of the hat. It's up to 5 seconds back to the driver in 4th.
Yeah, like we talked about a little bit earlier, he's definitely in a spot where he can't really catch. He just has to hold stagnant to the group behind him. You see Reagan give another quick look back. He knows that them two are working together. Parker Fitz is still there, still close. Reagan pulls a little bit towards the infield, but you'll see as we get on this straightaway coming out of 9, heading towards 10, Jensen Harrell gives Parker Fitz a nice push, and he closes up that gap tremendously, especially in the draft.
Yeah, big close there for him here, and he'll do the same, although he was a little disconnected coming out of turn number 9 this time. So there wasn't the extra little shove at the end of the straightaway. 1 car length between the pair of them here as they come out of turn number 10 and through 11 on the bend over through 12 to the final corner on the racetrack. Reagan Seville, Parker Fitz, Jensen Harrell, 1, 2, 3, working towards the halfway marker. 8 minutes in, 8 minutes to go here in the main event, plus 2 laps for 206 Junior. On deck right now is the KA100 Masterclass, presented by Kart Racing Solutions. Talked to Miguel Mir earlier in the weekend, said he felt pretty confident about his piece, and well, It was really good in heat number 2. James Lundberg will be starting second on the outside of the front row. We'll keep our eye on pole sitter in qualifying. Morgan LeBaron heard him in the scale line, said he thought he broke a reed in heat number 2. We saw him fade backwards pretty quickly with some engine issues. So some problems for Morgan LeBaron in the second heat for KA100 Master. He's set to go here for the feature.
Reagan Seville still looking super strong as they head out of turn 8 and make their way towards turn 9. Back down the straightaway towards turn 10. Looks like they've got a little bit of a gap to Jensen, but Parker Fitz is still there, closing up that gap in that draft as they head into turn 10. Parker Fitz is pretty close, up on the bumper of Reagan Seville as they come around through turn 11 and 12. They're still looking really good as they head back down to turn 1. Jensen Harrell needs to catch a little bit in this braking zone. He's able to catch about a half cart length as they head out of turn 1. Back towards the front straightaway. Jensen Harrell still comfortable. I don't really think he's driving the go-kart too hard. He knows that the draft will help pull him back in. He doesn't need to overheat his tires. But Parker Fitz is all up on the bumper of Reagan Seville. The first time we've seen this all weekend. Reagan really hasn't had much pressure all weekend, but Parker Fitz is putting him on him right now.
He's giving him a lot here to hang on to. So Reagan Seville leading that pack out of turn number 7. And they'll head over towards the turn 8 complex. Still single file up at the front. Now we're going to see a change for second. Jensen Harrell finally got some momentum. Takes over the second spot. Gets ahead of Parker Fitz. And that, again, is just a little bit risky to do. Knowing how quick Reagan Seville's been all weekend, they're going to need to really hook up to run back up to him because they just opened that gap up now to about 8 or 9 car lengths from P1 back to P2. Headed to turn 10 here this time. Harrell getting the help from Fitz that he needs. He's not fighting back on him. He's trying to stay there, trying to be a good pusher. Seville takes a look back. Harrell, I think, should be safe in the tow, ready to go as they go towards turn number 1. While they're set here, Riley Can has also gone down from the scale line with the Micro Swifts, now to the K100 Master Grid. Let's see who he's got down on with him. Riley?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm here with Robbie Mott, starting P3 for the final. What's the game plan for this one?
Get a good start and be there at the end.
Sure. I mean, you've been super duper fast all weekend. You got any tips or anything for the other drivers?
Any tips? Just, I don't know about that, man. Just, like I said, let's just keep it clean and see what happens in the last couple of laps.
Cool, man. Thank you so much. Good luck.
All right, again, that was Robbie Mott. Obviously, like Riley said, he's been quick, been coming through the field, qualified on the inside of the third row for the heat races, drove forward in both of them to move him up one row higher to start third here for the feature. He's looking pretty good. Mr. Ribtech, number 205, looking to try and challenge Miguel Mir along with a number of the other KA Masters. 20 in total with some names that will be starting a little further back that will maybe up the order in heat number 2. Back to the on-track action here with 11 minutes laps so far, 5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Reagan Seville, Jensen Harrell, after getting by for a second, is locked back onto the rear bumper, and he moves up with a car length gap back to Parker Fitz, first, second, and third.
Looks like Parker Fitz is falling off a little bit, but not too bad. I think he's still catching the draft.
Yeah, he's still right there, about a car length away. We'll go down also. Riley's caught up with Morgan LeBaron. Not the best second heat race for him. Riley, what do you got for us?
What's up, guys? I'm here with Morgan LeBaron, starting P4 for the final. What are your thoughts for this race?
I think if we get down the side, we should be all right. We got some work cut out for us. We struggled in the heat race between having engine issues. We broke a reed, so we had no top end at all.
Yeah, a little bit of struggles through the first couple of heats, but you're looking good for the final. You got the speed.
Yeah, definitely the speed's there. Once we get some clean air, I think we'll be all right.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Again, that was Morgan LeBaron, like he said, broken reed there in heat number 2. We saw the issue happen to him early on in the session, and then, like he said, no top-end power whatsoever, which makes a whole lot of sense. He was getting his doors blown off at the end of the long straightaway going to turn number 1, but then seemed to be fine in the lower speed sections of the racetrack, like turns 5, 6, and 7. And this section right here that your leaders are coming out of. So as they work their way towards turn number 1, Reagan Seville, Jensen Harrell, they've pulled away a little bit from Parker Fitz. I'd say he's kind of close to the danger zone now, Cameron, just on the verge of maybe losing touch with the top 2.
Yeah, we just seen Reagan pop that curb a little bit coming out of 1. He's still, I think he's making little mistakes here and there, obviously a little bit more pressure than what he's had, but he's still doing good. He's been in this situation many times. He's feeling good. Obviously, he knows Jensen's right there, but Parker Fitz, like you said, he's starting to fall off a little bit. He's kind of in that danger zone of if he doesn't have a good couple next corners, he might fall out of that range to get that draft.
Which is all important here for 206 Junior, presented by Seville Electric. The division sponsored by his family. He has done a great job going to the top of the boards every official session this weekend. Reagan Seville, this time by, we'll see just about 2 minutes left and 2 laps after that when the timer hits here. We are past the 13-minute marker now. No changes. He's led every lap thus far. Feels good about it. I joked, I said he needs to do a last to first challenge here in 206 Junior. One of these days, the championship's locked up, have some fun with it. He said, yeah, might help me a little bit at my KA Junior racing as well. They'd been struggling. They were 6th, 5th, 6th pretty much almost all weekend. Just need a little more, but he was honest about it. Said he felt like he could do a little bit better. Felt like both of his go-karts doing pretty good. Obviously here, he's doing really, really well. The GFC Trackside Karting Services tuned 419 looking phenomenal to start the weekend. And all the way through here to Sunday, Reagan Seville leads into turn 3. 14 minutes complete, 2 minutes to go. Jensen Harrell still right behind him. Parker Fitz now. He's 9/10 back from the lead, Cameron. That right there, that's bad news for the Parker Fitz fans back home in the 464.
Yeah, it'll be very difficult for him to actually catch back up into that group. They would have to battle pretty hard on the last couple laps for him to be able to close up. As long as he can keep about this much of a distance, he has a possibility of swooping in on that last lap, maybe in one of the last corners if they're battling hard, and has the potential to maybe look at first or second. But right now, I think he's sitting comfortably in third. Sawyer's not any faster than him. He's actually almost second off. So Parker Fitz is looking good where he's at, but it's just, I know it's kind of difficult. I don't think he'll be able to catch the top 2.
Yeah, he needs to get going here. He needs them to fight as well, which I don't think either one is happening at the moment. It'll be 15 minutes elapsed here when they get back around to the finish line, so they'll get 3 laps to go. They won't make it back in time to get 4. 3 more times around here for Reagan Seville, Jensen Harrell, and Parker Fitz just kind of in the catbird seat, hoping for something to happen, but he'll need something short of a catastrophe really to get him into the mix, because the gap now 1.5 seconds back as Jensen Harrell goes purple. A 1:14.209 fast time honors for the Burrell Art driver as he trails Reagan Seville to turn number 5.
I mean, you got to give it to the Trackside Services team. This is the first weekend that Reagan's been on this new GFC chassis, and they came out hot right out the gates, knew exactly how to get the kart set up. So you got to really give it to them, because Reagan's just been out there sitting comfortably, not really any competition until now.
Yeah, picked up right where he left off aboard his Burrell chassis for a good chunk of the season. He's just been solid all year long in 206 Junior. Changed the manufacturer, changed the color of the tubes underneath him. He's still going fast and going to the top. The double sticks will come this time around. 2 laps to go when they get back to the start-finish line for Reagan Seville and Jensen Harrell. Now, this is, again, when they start to push a little bit more, and you kind of look, from, especially from our view with the broadcast cameras, where does Jensen Harrell pick up time? Where does he lose a little bit of time to Reagan Seville? Where does he have an opportunity to get him? He's obviously able to be glued to the bumper into turn 1, so this is a good zone to pass in and a zone that Reagan Seville will need to block. Can he get him into 3? That's a short braking zone in the 206 classes, Cameron. We've seen a couple passes here in turn 3 in some of the KA divisions, and even then they've been kind of sketchy going into that first chicane.
Yeah, I've noticed that turn 1 and turn 3 aren't the biggest passing zones. Obviously, turn 1 a bit more than turn 3, but they're both kind of sketchy because they are pretty tight hairpins with some pretty big curbs around you on exit and entry, so it makes it very difficult to set up a nice pass and make it clean.
Yeah, it narrows up the racetrack a lot. You don't have a lot of room to play if you go a little bit too deep or underdo it a little bit and you go side by side. With 2 laps to go, again, turn 8, that's been a good passing zone. That's where Jensen Harrell was able to get by for second. So he was able to make a move there. We've obviously seen a lot of passes at the end of this straightaway right here, turn number 10, when they loop back around that full throttle sweeper. They are on the power pretty much from the exit of turn number 8 all the way down this straightaway. And you can see it right there. Reagan Seville knew he was there, blocked the inside in 10, keeps that clean. Now he'll run them all the way to turn number 11. Here comes Harrell. He's got a nose to the outside on the curve. Can he keep the draft and momentum going? They're door to door, wheel to wheel for the lead. White flag coming this time by Jensen Harrell through Seville with a great crossover coming out of the final turn.
Yeah, that was a crazy last couple corners. Obviously, Jensen was kind of forced to go to the outside when Reagan blocked going down through 11 and 12. Jensen tried to make that move. Didn't quite work, but as they head up back towards turn 5, this is the last lap. Looks like Jensen looks wide as Reagan Seville goes towards the inside, not able to make it happen. Jensen tucks back in as they head through 7, 6, and 7.
All the way through. Reagan Seville hangs on to the lead. Made a little mistake there. Let him get alongside. He's going to keep that in mind here for the second time around when they battle. Seville blocks a bit into 8. Doesn't have to do it a ton. Harrell's not close enough. Jensen Harrell needs a really good turn 9 to give his chances for the win some life again. He's 2 car lengths back coming out of 9. The draft will pull him close. Down to a car length away. Closing up to Reagan Seville to the bumper. Almost there. Is Seville covering the inside? He is. Keeps him at bay. It'll come down to the final turn, and Seville got a great exit. Backed up that corner nicely. Final run here into turn number 1. Reagan Seville, a car length up on Jensen Harrell. They'll bounce the limiter. It's not going to be enough. I don't think Harrell's not close enough for a dive. He'll try it. Sends it too deep on the brakes. He goes wide. Seville will come across the line. Reagan Seville wins in a thriller in 206 Junior, and Jensen Harrell just barely hangs on as Parker Fitz got a last-second run at him, and all the credit in the world to Jensen Harrell to not only keep control of that thing as deep as he went on the brakes, no contact at all, Cameron, with a late send. He took his own cart wide, made sure he did not collect Reagan Seville and trigger a crash there going for the win.
Yeah, he was really the only one that was able to put pressure on Reagan here in this final. Parker Fitz was there for a little bit, but Jensen was able to get on that bumper of Reagan and push them away. Really all the credit to him. He tried his move. It didn't quite work out, and he just took his loss. He didn't really, attempt to hurt anybody else in the situation.
Yeah, a smart move. A lot of respect there for him. Parker Fitz third, Sawyer Roussel fourth, Alfred Alvarez, Del Castillo, Ian Columbus, Shelby Ramirez, your field in 206 Junior. You can see it. The veterans are ready to go. K100 Master presented by Kart Racing Solutions. Headed off here by Miguel Mir and James Lundberg is ready to go. The engines are almost fired. We'll be right back with more Texas Sprint Racing Series action on Kart Chaser after this.
Looking for a top-level team environment that fits your budget? Look no further than AMAX Racing. We cater to customers around the country who want driver coaching, tuning assistance, hospitality, track support, and a family race environment. Our race schedule is support available at all levels, from club and regional series across the Midwest to top-tier events such as the TKNA Grand Nationals, the U.S. Pro Kart Series, and the Scooter Pro Tour. Whatever level you may be at or want to get to, AMAX Racing can get you there. USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com. If you're looking for top-grade equipment, look no further than Rev Performance Materials engine mounts, sprockets, and arcade chains. Available online now at RevPerformanceMaterials.com and through a dealer near you. The highest quality material built to the highest quality standards. Rev Performance Materials.
Welcome back here for Kart Racing Solutions K100 Master. Miguel Mir, James Lundberg, the front row into the start box. We're green down to turn number 1, and lots of drivers up and over the curbing. A couple taking evasive action on the end of the corner through the grass.
but all 20 are clean and green down to turn 3. Robbie Mott slips into second. James Lundberg back to third. It looks like a good start here for Randy Russell. He's moved his way up. And Morgan LeBaron with a great start as well. Actually, that's LeBaron that maybe has gone up a little bit higher. Lundberg down the order to 7th, so not a good start for the outside row, but great start for Morgan LeBaron to get down to the low side, move himself up to P3 as they battle behind for third. Miguel Meir leads into turn number 8. Then it'll be Robbie Mott, and they were side by side for third going into the corner, coming out, all going out of it. DJ Ortiz battling there with what looked to be Randy Russell as Morgan LeBaron gets a little bit further away. There's James Lundberg getting into the mix, all going down the run to turn 10 here just inside the top 5.
And not the start that
Ortiz is around in front of the field. He'll get clobbered by one midway through, one of the Cruise Racing Development drivers. And DJ Ortiz, I think the reason he spun, the left rear bumper was broken earlier in the lap, and it drug when he got onto the brakes and spun him out. It collects the 203 Cruise Racing Development OTK machine of Vincent Clement, and we got more carnage here midway through the pack. Okay, Masters, man, everybody's getting elbows up here in the afternoon.
We're only a couple laps in.
Well, whether it's the heat or whether it's the pressure of the main events here, it is throwing these drivers all at each other. Miguel Meir and Robbie Mott now with a big-time lead on the field. 2.5, nearly 3 seconds to Morgan LeBaron in third. Randy Russell in the 4th spot. DJ Ortiz going to pull it into the scale line here. Unfortunate ending to the day for the KRS Tony Kart driver. That dragon rear bumper again caught him out over in turn number 10 on the opening lap. As the field works its way around on lap number 2, here's Meir going through 10 and 11. And he'll take that number 1 Lando Norris kart out of the corner towards the turn number 1 complex once again.
This is kind of a good situation that Robbie Mott wanted. He wanted to be able to just drive and catch Miguel because no one's been able to do it so far this weekend. Now he's got the chance, he's got clear track, and he's just push, push, push.
Yeah, here we go. Look at this battle here. Morgan LeBaron, James Lundberg in the middle of them. Randy Russell, 3rd, 4th, and 5th on the circuit. 3.9 seconds back from the lead. And the two leaders are a good bit quicker than them right now. LeBaron obviously was hoping for a little bit cleaner start. So 3.5 minutes to go here. Miguel Meir continues to lead the way in Kart Racing Solutions KA100 Master. Robbie Mott is 2nd. James Lundberg is 3rd. Morgan LeBaron 4th. Randy Russell is 5th. Dex Nakin is 6th. As we update the order with just 2 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Robbie Mott has started to reel him back in just a little ways as Miguel Meir hit some traffic, unfortunately. It kind of held him up a little bit this time, and Robbie Mott now is almost within the drafting distance as they go through turn number 9.
Yeah, he's been reeling him in about a tenth a lap every lap that come by, so we'll see how big the gaps change with the interference with that traffic.
Yeah, we'll see here. Miguel Meir, again, had been building the margin nicely each lap, kind of just slowly adding a couple hundredths here and there to get a little bit further and further down the road as they go towards turn number 1 here this time. 3 to 4 car lengths from Miguel Meir back to Robbie Mott into turn number 1, 4 to 5 car lengths away, out of turn 1 this time, through 2, through 3, down the front straightaway. The gap back to him at the marker, 7/10. That's enough to get a little bit of a sniff of toe here when they come out of turn at number 4, and they'll run on the way all the way to 5.
See, he's looking back. Hopefully Miguel's not getting to his head right now. He's not getting too flustered. He sees that gap closing. It's not a pretty sight to see as a driver.
Yeah, not at all. Through 5, through 6, through 7. Out of 7 here this time. And all the way over to turn at number 8. Oh, we got one more off. One of the Burrell drivers having an issue here on this past lap. I think that, I'm not sure which one we lost. We've got an issue, unfortunately, for Keith and Hutchins. He's pulled in. Scott Cherry has had an issue. Dex McKinn has had a problem as well as the field goes on through. Kart Racing Solutions, KA Master, coming down to the wire here for Miguel Meyer and company as the field works its way around the back sector through 10 and 11 this time. We're going to come to see just potentially, I think we should get 3 laps to go. We're just going to get under the gun of the 16-minute marker. But Robbie Mott, he's hoping for that. He needs a couple more laps, and he can really get himself into contention.
You can really tell by watching him drive. He's definitely digging. He really wants that win. He wants to beat Miguel. It's one of the first proper races that these two have even had together.
Yeah, he could really end up in a good spot as they go. So, all in all, good stuff for Miguel Meyer. Unfortunately, better stuff for Robbie Mott as the field comes on through. And we'll see the 2 to go signal coming. We got another one off. That's the 207. The CRG machine. Corey Avari is out over at the exit at turn number 7. And another one has dropped. We've lost a number of the KA Masters here in this main event, and a lot here in the closing stages. Meanwhile, your leaders headed through turn 9. Miguel Meyer, along with Robbie Mott, coming out of 9, going towards 10 and 11. Tucks his head behind the wheel, knows he's got to open that gap back up just to make sure he's safe to the finish.
Looks like it's going to be a good lap for Miguel. Looks like he's pulled out just a little bit more of a gap on Mott. Miguel's digging too, man. He's pushing. You can see how much harder Mott's breaking into that last corner. He's really, really digging. Maybe it's a little bit too much. You don't want to overdrive and push that corner and just ruin your exit down the short chute. Looking back again. Hopefully Miguel doesn't become too concerned with the driver behind him. He just needs to worry about his race and hit his marks. He's doing a good enough job right now. They're running very, very similar times, so the gap isn't closing too fast. But once Meyer was able to even catch that draft off of Meyer, it's going to be a different story.
Yeah, it could be a lot different. Let's see. To turn number 9 this time here with the white flag coming out next time by. He's down a 10th, so 6.5 tenths away. Miguel Meyer, another look back to check the margin. Almost looked like he shook his head a little bit, knowing that Robbie Mott is closing in. He needs more, though. Mott is going to come up short if he can't get a lot of toe on this straightaway and the final ones as well, because he's still about 3 to 4 car lengths back. But we could just very well have a 2-way duel on the final lap in KA Master. Not a good exit out of turn 1 that time for Miguel Meyer. Mott gets a good one across the line. 0.4 of a second. Robbie Mott goes purple. Fastest driver on the racetrack at a 106.29.
Got a sniff of that draft.
He's got a good sniff of the draft going to turn number 5. Might be able to really put a challenge in. Look at him deep into turn 5 that time. Through 6. Climbs the curb a bit. I think he might have gone a little narrow. Good exit out of 7 for Miguel Meyer that time by. He hops in the seat trying to pull the gap away. 2.5 car lengths here for Miguel Meyer over Robbie Mott. Over to turn 9.
A little unsteady on the entry to 8 for Amir. Doesn't look like it hurt him too bad, though. Looks like the gap's pretty healthy. He shouldn't have to worry about anything, barring any issues.
Yeah, let's see here as they go through. Over to turn number 10. Out of 10, over to 11. Miguel Meyer, Robbie Mott. Mott not able to get a good exit, or at least good enough. He's going to come up maybe 1 lap short. Miguel Meyer played it all the way to the wire to turn number 1 for the final time. Mott, 2 car lengths away. Deep, not deep enough. Miguel Meyer hangs on, scores some valuable points, and wins round 4 of the Texas Sprint Racing Series in KA Master. Mott again going purple on the last lap and the second to last lap, a 106.18. Miguel Meyer hangs on, a major win here in this one to catapult himself into the points leader, at least the points championship fight, going in to Speed Sports Racing Park in North Houston for the season finale. James Lundberg ends in third. Morgan LeBaron fourth. Randy Russell fifth. The field really spread out as the next group comes across the line. Neil Faulkner holds off Kyle Uchinski. A good ways up from Kyle Uchinski, holds off that pack. Faulkner on his own. Uchinski, Adamar Kayargo, Kyle Walter, all the same order from where they were earlier. And Tam Wen rounds out the top 10. For KA Master, a lot of track cleanup coming our way with a lot of broken down go-karts. One that's not is the number one reigning champ, Miguel Mir, comes away with a checkered flag here at round 4 in Amarillo. We'll come back with more action here live for the Texas Sprint Racing Series. You're watching Kart Chasers coverage of the 4th round of the 2022 championship.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun family atmosphere, try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism down with sort of some of the fun sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, you know, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com, and one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
Odenthal Racing Products, your #1 producer in engine mounts since 1992, along with our leading-edge designs and product development, such as the Odenthal Racing Products EasyGP camera mount, which comes in 4 different styles and can be used on any karting platform. To see our products online, go to odenthalracing.com.
Welcome back to the Texas Sprint Racing Series here at Amarillo Kart Circuit. We've caught up with a number of our top finishers here in 206 Junior to talk with. Cameron Reed's caught up with our overall winner, Reagan Seville. What an awesome performance for Reagan in the main event. We'll bring them together there, get them into the shot, and let's go ahead and send it on over to Cameron.
Hi, I'm with Reagan Seville, your winner of 206 Junior in the final. That race didn't look like the rest of them. Kind of walk me through what you were thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that was going to happen. I knew heats were going to be a little walk-off, but at the final, it was just going to be tight.
Yeah, so you had a little bit of pressure the whole time. Were you feeling it, or you were pretty comfortable?
I was pretty comfortable. I mean, I would beat him in the corners, even with the straightaway gear. So, I mean, I was pretty comfortable.
Yeah, well, now you pretty much got the championship locked up, pretty much smooth sailing the rest of the way. Are you excited?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to thank Trackside, my mom and my dad, Tim, just with an amazing GFC out there. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Good job this weekend.
Congrats to Reagan here. We'll take it trackside to the Amarillo Kart Circuit for the Trackside Karting Services driver. Again, an awesome performance for him. We'll get the other half of the battle into the mix as well. Jensen Harrow gave him a great run for his money all the way through to the final lap, even sent it deep on the brakes. He's with Cameron now after his P2 finish. Cam?
So you finished second that race. You were in third for a little bit. You made that pass on Parker. You tried to go for it on that last lap. Didn't quite work out. Kind of walk me through those last couple laps.
Yeah, I saw that me and Reagan started pulling away from Parker, so I knew it was my time to fight for first. I stuck on the inside of him, on the second to last lap, and he hit me with a really nice over and under and finished off some great defense to win it.
Sounds great. You tried to go for it in the last corner, just went a little deep on the brakes, but you were clean, didn't make any contact. Was that just a little bit of a mistake, or were you kind of going for the pass?
I was going to see if it was there, but he braked pretty late, so I hit the brakes real hard, did not hit him, and finished second.
How are you sitting in the championship? Are you pretty close?
I don't think so. We've done bad in some of the others. We've had motor problems, so it's still a great race.
Well, great job. Thank you, bro.
All right, congratulations here to Jensen Harold. A podium finish here and a P2 result for him. We'll let some of the KA Masters begin to work their way through the scale line as, again, you can see more of the track is continuing to clear here in Amarillo. Honda Kid Karts are coming up next year for the Young Guns on the Texas Sprint Racing Series class structure. The Helix Electric Honda Kid Karts led off by Teddy Mitchell. Andrew Anastasia will start second. Dutch Westbrook and Brody Stoffel will roll off on row number 2. Then it'll be Asa Davidson and Brendan Barsh on row 3. Wyatt Slider and Rafi Ali will make up row number 4. Again, the Kid Karts coming our way here in just a little bit. And then that'll kick us off into the final 3 classes of the day. KA Junior, 206 Cadet, and KA Senior, all 3 that have had some wild packs at the finish here through the afternoon. It's a hot one in Amarillo, Texas, but more racing getting set to go. The Kid Karts almost ready to go on the racetrack.
USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
Looking for a top-level team environment that fits your budget? Look no further than AMAX Racing. We cater to customers around the country who want driver coaching, tuning assistance, hospitality, track support, and a family race environment. Our race schedule is support available at all levels, from club and regional series across the Midwest to top-tier events such as the TKNA Grand Nationals, the U.S. Pro Kart Series, and the Scooter Pro Tour. Whatever level you may be at or want to get to, AMAX Racing can get you there.
USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
Honda Kid Kart working its way into the tram lines, and we are underway here for the Kid Kart main event presented by Helix Electric. And all 8 drivers able to make it through cleanly. Great start for Theodore Mitchell. He'll get through into the lead. Andrew Anastasio slots into second, and they'll rocket on by the finish line here on the Honda GX50s down to turn number 3. We saw a good little battle in the second heat race on the day, and again, for these kids here, we talk about this racetrack being so big and so fast for the much faster classes than the Kid Karts. They are nearly matted off full throttle for a good portion of the circuit all the way around here, but definitely some technical parts for them, like this rhythm section right here, turns 5, 6, and 7. And then you'll get onto the straightaways here, and you'll see all of them hunch up behind the wheel as they go side by side for second. Andrew Anastasio's got pressure coming. Looks like Dutch Westbrook there in the 33 was looking to the inside. He backed off into the corner, slots into third. And they'll all make their way out safe and cleanly so far for the first half lap. Helix Electric Honda Kid Kart underway. While we get the Kid Karts going here, we've also got some interviews lined up for us. Riley Can has caught up with our main event winner in KA100 Master, Miguel Mir, and it was a good fight for Miguel at the very end. The pressure finally came, and luckily the checkered flag came at the same time. Let's send it over here to Riley.
What's up, guys? I'm here with Miguel Mir, the winner of the final here at the Texas Sprint Racing Series at the Amarillo Kart Circuit. Miguel, you had it under control pretty much the entire weekend, man. So the end of the race was pretty hairy. What do you think about that?
Yeah, the key was be very, very consistent. I knew Robbie and James will be there. That was kind of tricky when I got the lappers. I lost probably like a second on that lap. Robbie came so hard. He was pushing very good at the end. He was closing my gap. And then I was like, okay, this is the last 3 laps, and need to check my marks, no mistakes, and pay off.
For sure. I mean, he came in on you super fast, like every lap. I mean, what were you thinking when he finally closed up to you?
Oh, I know Robbie's super competitive, and he will go for it if he was there. So I was like, okay, I need to at least keep 2 or 3 cars between us, and I will be safe. But I knew he was coming. So. Yeah.
I mean, you looked super duper tired at the end of the race. I saw you in the scale line, just took a little breather. I mean, what was going through your head there?
Well, Robbie was pushing my limits, so that's why.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, congrats again here to Miguel Mir. What a hard-fought main event win there. Like he said, Robbie Mott pushing him to his limits at the end. He knew it was going to be clean and hard racing between the pair of them, so he was going to have to go hard all the way to the finish, hit his marks, make sure to dig deep, and go to the very end of that 16 minutes plus 2-lap feature. Back onto the racetrack here. Nice little battle we've got going on back for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Dutch Westbrook, Asa Davidson, and Brody Stoffel all in this little pack for P3, P4, P5, trailing Andrew Anastasio a little bit, all trailing Theodore Mitchell, who leads the way in the number 20. And they'll go side by side for 4th. Little crossover action and a good move there for the 72 of Asa Davidson, getting back around Brody Stoffel, who went down the inside, overcooked it a little bit and loses some momentum on the exit. But all top 5 of the Kid Karts relatively close, 5 seconds separating them. It would be a pretty big margin. The other classes with higher speeds, not too bad, all things considered, as they work their way towards the Turn 5 complex here with the number 20 leading the way. 3.5 minutes in, we've still got 12.5 minutes to go here in the Kid Kart main event presented by Helix Electric, plus 2 laps at the end as they work towards turn number 8 here this time. So side by side through the final corner, the last lap around, with some good passing going through as we check back in to where we're at for Helix Electric Honda Kid Kart. Theodore Mitchell leading the way over Andrew Anastasio and Dutch Westbrook that have been having a good little scrap the last few laps, with Westbrook finally getting through and pulling a little bit of a gap on him. Anastasio has the fastest lap of the session thus far. However, the consistency for Theodore Mitchell has been able to keep him out in front in the nice little cushion of 2 seconds. Back to Dutch Westbrook, Andrew himself. Brody Stoffel still sits in the 4th spot. Asa Davidson 5th, Brendan Barsh in 6th, Wyatt Slider in 7th, and Rafi Ali in the 8th position as the field works its way around.
Yeah, it's awesome to see this little battle going on between these guys. I know Westbrook was having a little bit of trouble in that second heat this morning, but it looks like he's bouncing back really well. It's awesome to see from him. Got Anastasio following Westbrook.
All right, well, we're resetting also on our end, too. He also didn't reset, too.
Just hoping to get that toe down the straightaway. It's looking good. Anastasio is pushing.
Let me know when you're good to go, Rocco.
Little tap of the curb there from Westbrook. Not what you want to see. Little mistakes like that add up, especially at this track. And there you see Mitchell, Westbrook, Anastasio, top 3. Theodore Mitchell just running his race out there, hitting his marks. He's looking quite fast. Nobody's really challenging him at the moment. We'll see if Westbrook can do anything, catch it back up to him. It looks like Westbrook's making some pretty decent gains this lap. I noticed the gap has gone down just a little bit. Westbrook could be on fire here. As they come out of the top of the track, down that long back straightaway.
Sander, you might need to go check on camera
14 minutes down. Looks like we got 2 more minutes to go, plus those last 2 laps. So it looks like we should get about maybe 3 laps, maybe 4, depending on when they get to come back around.
No, we're probably going to have Sander come after you in a minute.
Westbrook's on him, though. He's coming. He's coming. Mitchell's had this under control, had the first heat today really well, won that pretty comfortably. Westbrook didn't really have the best of results that he was hoping for, so at least he's been able to make his spot back up and catch back up to the leaders. Make a little bit of a challenge for the win. There's that long left-hander at turn 9. So many G's you're pulling through that corner. I know whenever I was driving here, I would just be falling out of the seat almost trying to stay full throttle through there. It's tough. Tough on your body and tough on your mental. You don't think you can do it until you actually do it.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be really tough on these little guys doing these long stints, especially this final race. This is the longest one they've done yet. But Theodore's looking pretty strong.
Yeah, super physical track, really hot outside. It's like I was standing outside earlier. I felt like I was getting blown on by a hair dryer. It was not fun.
Okay, we're back. Go ahead and zoom in.
We got 10 laps complete. Theodore Mitchell still your leader. He's looking really good, really strong. Looks like they might be lapping a kid right now as they head towards turn 5. Theodore Mitchell.
Hopefully that lap traffic doesn't hinder Westbrook too much. It looks like that gap has already started to open back up a little bit. Westbrook kind of got off his little bit of a rhythm, trying to catch back up to Theodore Mitchell.
Looks like Dutch Westbrook's able to get by that lap traffic pretty easily. That last time by Dutch was about 2/10 slower than Theodore Mitchell, so he needs to pick up the pace a little bit, but they still have plenty of time.
Yeah. Yeah, Westbrook's definitely proven he has the speed, and I know, and it's also been very proven that Mitchell has the consistency and the speed. Hopefully Westbrook is able to put those both together in order to catch up to Mitchell.
It looks like they'll be getting 2 to go this next time by, as Theodore Mitchell makes his way towards that front half of the circuit.
You see him ducking down the straightaway.
He makes his way out of turn 10, up through that little short straightaway through 11 and 12, heading back towards 1. Theodore Mitchell will get 2 to go this time by. Looks like Dutch Westbrook doesn't really have anything for him yet, but something major will have to happen in these next 2 laps.
Yeah, Westbrook's got to be praying for something crazy to happen.
Dutch Westbrook was significantly slower than Theodore Mitchell that time by. About 1.5 seconds slower than Theodore. That's not going to help him out too much if he wants to close his gap here on this last 2 laps.
And that's the biggest hindrance you see with these little kids is they are fast. They can be fast on certain laps, but you got to be able to put it together lap after lap after lap. And even some older drivers can still struggle with the same thing.
Yeah, consistency is key, especially here where any little mistake really messes you up.
Yeah, I mean, on these faster tracks with the more straightaways and just the more flat-out running, you know, every little mistake makes a huge difference on the total of the lap.
Yeah, we've seen that in a lot of different classes, but here in the Kid Karts with everything fixed gears, you see it a lot more. Any mistake that the driver makes, that makes him considerably slower. Looks like Theodore Mitchell is heading back down towards turn 10.
Should be getting that white flag next time by. Down the long back straightaway.
It's looking like it's pretty much sewn up for him. Dutch Westbrook isn't really very close, about a 2.3 second gap that last time by.
And all Theodore Mitchell needs to do is just keep it on the track. This one should be his. Driven a great race so far this weekend. Done great today. Won the second heat. He's looking really good. Such a great job today.
Theodore Mitchell gets white flag this time by. He's going around for the last lap around Amarillo Kart Circuit until next year, I would assume.
Yeah.
TSRS is pretty much the only series I know that comes here. So
it is a shame. This is kind of a crown jewel in the middle of nowhere. You know, all the drivers love this track, and everybody loves the surface and how it's laid out. And it's a shame that we don't get to come here more often.
Yeah, I agree. It's a really cool track. I think this will be Theodore Mitchell's last lap around the track for a good couple months. So he's heading back down the short straightaway, heading towards turn 8. Got a quick look over his shoulder, knows Dutch isn't really close. He's got a little bit of lap traffic right here. He's able to get around him. He's going around the outside of him through turn 9. He's able to get around him nice and clean. As he heads down the short back straightaway to turn 10.
You know he's tired. You know he's excited for this race to finally be over. Driving by yourself and driving with the pack is two different things in a final race. You know, if you're by yourself, you're not really focused on anything. Your adrenaline isn't pumping that much. You know, you're just ready for it to end when you're just all alone doing nothing.
Yeah, I think he's going to be super stoked coming across the line here. He's heading down that last corner, turn 11, turn 12.
He won the second heat today. Led this one almost from start to finish. He's really put on a great show for us today.
As he takes the checkered flag, Theodore Mitchell is your winner for the Honda Kid Karts as Dutch Westbrook comes home in second. Andrew Anastasio will bring it home in P3.
Brody Stoffel in P4. Asa Davidson will round out in P5 once he crosses the line, of course. Big gaps between these drivers. We did see quite a bit of lap traffic.
These little guys are not the fastest around the track, but we should see right here, Brody Stoffel brings it home in P4.
There is Asa Davidson putting in P5.
And it should be Brennan Barsh that makes it around for P6. It's a big win for Theodore. He's got some good competition out here, but he was able to bring it home. I know he's going to be super excited about that. He will be your winner.
That's always fun bringing a trophy home.
As we get set, we're going to get ready to go out with your K100 juniors for their main event. A very large class, but I think it'll be a good one. You got 20 drivers. We'll catch you guys back after the commercial break.
Looking for a top-level team environment that fits your budget? Look no further than AMAX Racing. We cater to customers around the country who want driver coaching, tuning assistance, hospitality, track support, and a family race environment. Our race schedule is support available at all levels, from club and regional series across the Midwest to top-tier events such as the TKNA Grand Nationals, the U.S. Pro Kart Series, and the Scooter Pro Tour. Whatever level you may be at or want to get to, AMAX Racing can get you there.
USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com. If you're looking for top-grade equipment, look no further than Rev Performance Materials engine mounts, sprockets, and arcade chains. Available online now at RevPerformanceMaterials.com and through a dealer near you. The highest quality material, built to the highest quality standards. Rev Performance Materials.
Welcome back here to Amarillo Kart Circuit for the Texas Sprint Racing Series. Round number 4 of the Midsummer Mashup. 3 classes still coming your way. KA Junior onto the racetrack, presented by 4T Concrete Pumping. Let's go ahead and we'll bring you through the starting lineup for the field as they begin to make their way onto the circuit for the outlap. Davis Cunningham will start on the pole here. A great run through heat number 2, a second place result in heat number 1, and the pole position in qualifying. Won the tiebreaker over Ivana Richards in the HRI Mexico OTK Tony Kart. Landon Skinner will roll off in third. Carburetor issues kind of marred him back a little bit in heat number 2. Eventually he was able to kind of dig back forward and make up some ground. He starts on the inside of the second row alongside the 848 fellow Allen Rudolph Racing Academy driver of Diego Guillo. Santiago Duran in the 874 starts to the inside of Reagan Seville's 819 Beryl Art. Then row number 4 it'll be the 866 to Graham Tremble to the inside of Spencer Smith in the 845. Jensen Harrell, hot off a second place result in the 206 Junior main event, will roll off on the inside of row 5 alongside Sebastian Trejo. Then it'll be Easton Cox and Joey Dom on row number 6. Beckett Friesen and Preston Pico, row 7. Diego Mendez Torres and Austin Roy, row number 8. Alfred Alvarez del Castillo, Henry Leopard, Max Spielger, Landon Welker, and Archer Eversman, your 21 driver KA Junior field. At the helm of Davis Cunningham and Ivana Richards, and we're green down to turn number 1. Let's see who can make it to the opening corner. Couple drivers dropping wheels. 2, 3 off the racetrack at the exit at the very back of the field. That'll split them up about halfway down. The top 10 get away cleanly through turns 3 and 4, and Davis Cunningham gets away with the lead. Landon Skinner into second. Richards to third. A 3-car length gap for the 825 as he goes down to turn number 5 for the first time.
That looked to be Sebastian Trejo, Joey Dom, and possibly Preston off in that first corner. Obviously, it was a bit rough, but it looks like the majority of them got away pretty clean. Our front runners got through pretty good. Davis has a nice, good cushion right now to his teammate Landon Skinner right behind him. But Ivana Richards, we've seen her put on the pressure pretty early, and I think we're going to see that again.
Yeah, she's been very strong all weekend here, no doubt. Ivana Richards, very impressive in the HRI Mexico Tony Kart. She's already onto the rear bumper of Landon Skinner. You could probably expect a pass coming here at turn number 1. Here she comes on the bumper, down the long chute, turn 12. We'll switch over to the turn 1 camera. Does she go? She pushes Skinner forward, gets to Cunningham, doesn't go by there. Davis Cunningham, Landon Skinner, Ivana Richards, your top 3. Already beginning to break away a little bit from Diego Guillo in 4th and Santiago Duran in 5th. Graham Tremmel, great start, moved up to 6th. 1 spot gain, gets by Reagan Seville off the drop of the green, and he leads that middle group right now back from the 3 leaders. So the 3 leaders headed through turn 5 and 6 for the very second time. And then back to the top 10, Spencer Smith 8th, Jensen Harrell 9th, Beckett Friesen up 3 spots already from 13th to 10th. Here he avoided some of the chaos. Diego Mendez-Torres also picked up a few as well. So again, right around that 10th to 12th spot was where all the carnage came there to begin the KA Junior presented by 4T Concrete Pumping main event. But Davis Cunningham, Landon Skinner, Ivana Richards, big push coming. They'll stay single file into turn number 10 here on lap 2. All chasing the 825, and as they stack up and remain single file, or if they pass, Diego Guillo's made some improvements over the course of the weekend. He's there. It's about to be a 4-driver grouping up at the front.
It turns out that Landon Skinner had a little bit of carburetor issues in that heat race. I know we were trying to figure out what was going on as he kept sliding back in the field. Thought maybe it was tire pressure. They said hopefully they got the carburetor fixed. Right now he's looking good. He's all over the bumper of his teammate Davis Cunningham. We talked about how Diego Guiud is now up in that field. He hasn't really been able to hold on to that pack. They've kind of broken away a little early, but he's there now. I think it'll make it a very interesting final event as they round out their second lap.
And now as they come out of turn number 7, big run for Richards here to the bumper of Skinner. She'll look to the inside, deep on the brakes. Skinner tries to hang on the outside lane. He will. And again, like Riley and I talked about in some of the other classes here, we've seen a lot of drivers hang it tough on the outside, especially in that corner, and be able to hang on to the position. They'll round turn number 9, get on the run over to 10. Richards goes to the bumper, goes to work again, looks low. Not going to do anything there with Diego Guillo as she keeps him at bay for the moment. And the top 4 stay together in the same order. Davis Cunningham leads them over to turn 1 here on lap number 3.
We've seen these drivers super strong all weekend. They're the same. These are the same 4 drivers that have been up front. So we know that they're going to work good together. That's what they've been doing. Obviously, I'm expecting Ivana to make attempt another move here pretty shortly, but that'll just close Diego in more. I thought maybe he was going to go for that pass and that straightaway between turn 10. Looks like Landon might be looking at the inside. No, he just ran a little bit more narrow of a line. As they make their way through turn 6 and turn 7, we might possibly see Ivana go for that pass again into turn 8.
Could have seen him trying to protect maybe a little bit over into that corner. Now he's going to go for the lead. Landon Skinner gets through to the top spot in turn number 8 over his teammate Davis Cunningham. 1 spot change for both. Cunningham slots into second ahead of Richards. Back behind, Graham Tremmel still making some headway. Moved his way up to 5th, getting by Santiago Duran. They're 2.5 seconds back from the leaders right now, who remain in order from that pass in turn number 8. Landon Skinner will lead his first lap to the main event here as they go to turn number 1, unless they make a move on him here. Coming into the corner, Richards looking low, backs off, stays in line, and Skinner goes wide. Overshoots the braking marker. Cunningham cuts him a break, tucks back in line. Looks like they had a little piece of debris there on the front straightaway as well. As you can see, the Burrell art of Graham Tremmel right be leading that group a couple seconds away from the leaders. He just went quick that time. Only 2/10 loss to the main pack. 2.5 seconds even back to GT. And the Burrell train led by him, then Santiago Duran, then Reagan Seville. Beckett Friesen's a little bit further back. He's up 5 spots here so far in the main. Great start to the main event for Beckett Friesen in the 826, up to P8 overall.
Diego Guiu went purple that time. Last time by, he got that nice quick draft, which I think he will get again here. He went with a 105.4. Landon Skinner ran a very similar time, just a few hundredths off. But these three are looking very comfortable. I think Diego's going to have to put it together a couple good corners to actually stay in that draft so that he doesn't lose.
Yeah, there we go here. Through on over to the final corner, or turn number 1, really. Landon Skinner this time cleanly through. Davis Cunningham being content to ride in second. There goes the next group led by Graham Tremmel and company. Let's focus back on that pack a little bit if we can. The pack for 5th, Graham Tremmel, his group with Santiago Duran, Reagan Seville, Beckett Friesen, Jensen Harrell in that group as well. At the end of it there, they've got about 6 to 8 seconds back from them to find the next pack on the racetrack. But a 5-car train led by GT just for the final spot inside the top 5, and they haven't changed too much. I think right now they're fine to ride where they're at as well to try to work together, hope that the leaders battle a little bit more and give them a chance to get back into the mix, because when the leaders are lined up like they were that lap, they were flat flying. All 4 of them hit their best of the session. Davis Cunningham went purple. They put nearly actually about a second added on to Graham Tremmel's group. 3.5 seconds back now, although here goes Duran. Maybe that was the reason why Santiago Duran thinks he's a little bit better suited to lead the pack. He goes through back to 5th.
Yeah, Graham Tremmel, we've seen him recently move to this new Burrell art. He ran with RPG a little bit last year. He's looking pretty quick on it, though. I think it's suiting him well. Obviously, we see...
Oh, Duran way wide there in turn number 1. Cameron, sorry to interrupt, but man, he was dirt tracking it. 3 spots lost for Santiago Duran in turn 1.
Yeah, he went a bit wide. Couldn't really tell what happened. Maybe he got a little bit of a tap. Maybe he just drove a little wide. But Graham Tremmel's now back leading this pack. Got a fellow Burrell driver, Reagan Seville, on his bumper. They aren't quite teammates, but they are on the same chassis. That new Burrell is looking very quick.
Yeah, they've had some good runs this weekend in a number of different classes for the Burrell Art chassis. Obviously, Jake French leading the charge with Aiden Rudolph and KA Senior, KA Junior. They got 2 drivers right now, 5th and 6th on the circuit. And again, Santiago Duran will be quick, I'm sure, to work his way back up to this group, but he's got to kind of clean the tires off, so he's lost some ground. Beckett Friesen is on the end of this duo here between Seville and Graham Tremmel, and then back from them, it's nearly half a second before you'll find Santiago Duran leaning on the front bumper of Jensen Harrell to get some headway and traction back towards the lead pack, which just exited turn 1. Here comes this group through turn number 1 as well. That little bit of battling cost them another second or 2. They're now exactly about 5 seconds back from the leaders, 4.8 to be exact, and it's not coming down anytime soon because the leaders are hooked up single file, running together at the moment in a very nice way.
You can definitely tell how grippy the track is. A lot of drivers are having to get that rear wheel to lift up, that inside tire to lift. It kind of shows you exactly how hard of an axle a lot of these drivers are running. We've seen through a couple of them as they go through the hairpins, that inside wheel lifts so that they can rotate through the corner. It's so hot out here and there's a ton of grip on the track.
Yeah, over 180 entries here for the Texas Sprint Racing Series Midsummer Shootout. A ton of go-karts, a ton of laps being laid. Of course, 16 minutes plus 2 laps. Pretty lengthy main events after some short heat races at just 8 minutes plus 2 laps for each. Even the Kid Karts running the full distance as the leaders come through turns 10 and 11 here this time. We'll watch Duran just ahead of Jensen Harrell. They're 8th and 9th as the leaders go into the corner here this time. Davis Cunningham's gone back to the lead. Landon Skinner's dropped back in that group a little bit. Ivana Richards has moved up to 2nd and Diego Guillo to 3rd. So Davis Cunningham now with Ivana Richards behind him. No teammates in sight as Landon Skinner is trailing Guillo. They're about 3 car lengths away from the rear bumper of Richards.
Yeah, Ivana, we knew she was going to be very aggressive in the beginning. It looks like she did just as we thought, jumped up in that 2nd position. And I think she's going to try to push Davis away for a little bit. I don't think she's going to go for the pass just yet, but we have seen both. We've seen her do both. We've seen her jump in that 1st position, and we've seen her just kind of chill out.
Yeah, we've seen her try both ways, and in the case for Ivana Richards, she's got the opportunity to try both ways and see what works here in this main event. We're just at the halfway marker, coming up on 10 minutes complete, plus 6 minutes and 2 laps on top of that. So she could push for a couple laps, see if the gap starts to open, take a look back. If that gap doesn't open, if it tightens up, then she knows pushing away isn't going to do her any favors, and she can go for the lead. But for now, Ivana Richards content to ride behind the 825 Allen Rudolph Racing Academy Tony Kart of Davis Cunningham as they rocket onto the front straightaway, and another lap goes into the books. Purple lap time for Diego Guillo. He goes fastest on the session, sitting in the toe in the wake there of Ivana Richards and getting a good bit of pushing from Landon Skinner at the end of the train.
I like what Ivana's doing. I think I'd be doing the same thing, trying to push Davis away, knowing that I'm surrounded by 3 teammates who have been fast all weekend. I think I'd be trying to push Davis away and make it a little bit easier on myself when it comes to those final laps.
Yeah, out of turn number 8 this time. The single file grouping continues to roll through turn number 9 here and over towards turn number 10. Now, we're about to put 10 laps down. At this point, again, your tires have been good for a while. You got to be smart about where you make your moves. And here's a Richards making a move. Guillo trying to go, can't do it. Look at Landon Skinner, ultimate opportunist. That was a great move going around the outside, coming out of 11 through the bend into 12. He gets by Guillo, and now Cunningham looking to answer back on Richards. Slides it sideways, goes in way too deep. They all get caught out. Big time bobble for Davis Cunningham, and he might have knocked the chain off that thing. Davis Cunningham way slow exiting turns 1 and 2. Landon Skinner to the lead in the 8:17. Richards did everything she could to give him space. Hung on to it. She's lost ground. Guillo lost ground as well. Talk about a shake-up there. And where is Davis Cunningham in the 8:25? I think he might be stalled on the side of the road over in the final corner.
Yeah, he really went for that pass. He was a bit late. I don't know if I would have personally gone for the pass, but right now anything could happen. You know, he didn't want her to run away. He knew he had his teammates there. Maybe he thought it was going to work out. He would be able to pull away again, but just didn't quite go as planned. Landon's got a good, nice gap, though. I think Diego might be able to run him back down, especially if Ivana catches back up to Diego. They might be able to work together to run Landon.
Yeah, if they can hook up, maybe they could catch the 8:17 of Landon Skinner. But this race has just been blown to pieces of what we thought it was going to look like. Davis Cunningham, a big-time send on the inside in the final corner. He unfortunately faded way down after the incident. Did not cross the timing loop. So Davis Cunningham from leading the race there with a slide job trying to get by, and he is out of the go-kart, off on the side of the racetrack over here at the exit of the front straightaway. So he's done. One of the championship contenders as well in Davis Cunningham, unfortunately. Not the main event he needed. Landon Skinner, what a rebound here from this morning. He's now leading here in the closing stages. It's just going to be 3 minutes and 2 laps to go when he gets back around to the line. Only a few more laps to hold on. Last time by, he opened the gap up to Diego Guillo, put another 10th on him here in KA Junior.
Yeah, we talked about how he had a little bit of a rough heat race. They said he had a few carburetor issues, but it's looking good now. I think they got that issue fixed, and he's back to being as strong of a competitor as he was before. Like you said, he opened up that gap a little bit, so with not a ton of time left, maybe 4 or 5 laps left, I think he might have this one.
Yeah, let's see here as they go down into turn number 1. Landon Skinner, 8/10 now probably back to Diego Guillo. That gap is opening. Landon Skinner looking for a major victory here at Amarillo Kart Circuit. That time by, Guillo gave up another couple tenths of a second, 3/10 roughly for Diego Guillo, losing out to Landon Skinner, unfortunately. Ivana Richards is on pace with Guillo or a little bit better, but Landon Skinner has just turned it up a notch. The carburetor fix looks like it was a carburetor Superman stitch on for Landon Skinner. With this time by being probably 4 or 5 laps to go. Again, the only hope, like you said, is Ivana Richards getting to Diego Guillo and pushing as hard as they can up to him. They're already a second back. They need some major Hail Mary level speed to run down the 8:17 machine.
That early pushing definitely helped them be okay in this situation. If they were any closer, I think Graham Trammell would have possibly had a shot, but they pushed away in the early couple laps, so they have a good solid gap. I think Landon might have this one sewed up, but don't count Ivana Richards out. She's fast and she's running down Diego quickly. She closed that gap a lot this last lap, and I think she should be able to make a pass on these next couple laps.
Let's see here. That time by 1.1 seconds back to Diego Guillo. 14.5 minutes, so they'll get around. This is basically 4 laps to go right now. Ivana Richards catching up to Guillo. If they push good this lap, she passes in a place where they don't lose time, or they pass early and Guillo starts to push her. There's a chance. There's a slim chance they could run down Landon Skinner after that chaotic pass with Davis Cunningham sliding sideways into turn number 1. Back down the order, Graham Trammell and Reagan Seville have pulled a little bit away from the group they were leading. Santiago Duran then runs in the best of the rest with Beckett Friesen 7th behind him. Jensen Harrell's faded off as well in the 8th spot. Spencer Smith 9th. Preston Pike goes up 4 spots here in the main event up to 10th. Again, freezing up 6 spots to 7th. Now here is Richards. Big run down the chute to turn number 1. She'll push Diego Guillo for now. See if maybe with Guillo out front they can go. Again, this is, again, putting the race kind of in Diego Guillo's hands. He's got to hit his marks. He's got to be flawless. They lost another 10th that time. Not what they needed to the race leader, Landon Skinner. 1.3 seconds for Landon Skinner out front here at Amarillo.
Yeah, we're winding down the time. It should be 2 to go this next time by. Yep, just confirmed it'll be 2 to go this next time by. I think Ivana, she knows that they can't really catch unless something really crazy happens. That's right. She goes for the inside of turn 8. She gets past Diego Guillo. We knew she wasn't going to wait long. She gives them the, come on, think straight. Let's go, push. Let's try to catch Landon. She knows the time's running out.
And again, she gave him a shot there, waited about a lap when she got to him before she decided to pass. Passed in a place, doesn't look like it lost a lot of time. She's got a lot of ground to make up on Landon Skinner. Unfortunately, she's only been kind of even to him. Hasn't necessarily been faster. She's been really fast all weekend, like you've been saying. And for Ivana Richards in the HRI Mexico team, had this race been a little bit longer, had that pass gone a little bit differently with everyone getting choked up here in this section right there, turns 1, 2, and 3, maybe things would give her a shot at the checkered flag. But 2 laps to go. It's a 1.6 second gap. Almost impossible at this point. A great performance here for Landon Skinner to open up the lead, put 3/10 on him that time by. And for Ivana Richards, she's doing everything she can do. It may just not be in the cards today, like you said. Landon Skinner sewed up is a good term. At 1.6 seconds out, 1.5 laps to go. Not a lot of time left for anyone to get to him. And he's been pretty much mistake-free since he's gotten the lead.
Yeah, this is also going to be a very good race for him in the championship points. We know he was sitting really good. Those past couple races, he had some really good showings. He's been fast pretty much everywhere we've gone. And I think this win will help him a lot.
Well, that would be huge here for him. Ivana Richards and Diego Guillo. Now this could be a fight for the final podium spot. Not much of a fight at the moment. Second and third, a second and a half back from the lead. Look at the group back behind them. They're battling for 4th. Graham Tremmel, Reagan Seville. They have been going at it a little bit. Looks like the 2 of them running together for 4th and 5th could be a little fight as the white flag waves for Landon Skinner. Got another problem here. One more driver coming into the scale line. It's the 808 of Landon Welker. He's pulled in early here with a minute or 2 to go. But the white flag in the air. Again, what a great job. Landon Skinner. We talk about kind of keeping your head on your shoulders, not getting too rattled, not getting too hyped up or, bummed down based on how sessions go. Landon Skinner from the front row in the heat races to falling back to 5th, 6th, 7th in that second heat with issues on the motor. Could have really let it damper his mood. Could have kind of put him in a bad mental place to go into the main event today, but he went to the lead. Seemed to be more in command, more aggressive than he'd been all weekend long in the heat races, even in heat 1 when he was up at the front of the field. And now, out of turn number 11, on the run to 12, then 1, 2, and 3, Landon Skinner evades the chaos, avoids the carnage, and puts the laps down to build the gap at the end. Out of the final corner, Landon Skinner will win the main event for KA Junior in Amarillo.
Really good run for Landon in the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy go-kart. I mean, Ivana was the only one that was really able to pierce their dominant run here at Amarillo this weekend. Obviously, we see Diego in 3rd, Reagan in 4th, Santiago fell to 6th, and then the big carnage that happened with Davis. But they were all front runners all weekend. Allen had a really good showing.
Very good showing for the AR Academy team out of Houston. And, of course, they get to go and defend their home turf in just about a month's time at the Speed Sports Racing Park in North Houston for the season finale in September. We move on now here for Landon Skinner. The winner, Ivana Richards, 2nd. Diego Guillo rounds the podium off. Reagan Seville was able to put one over on Graham Tremmel on the final lap. He ends in 4th. Tremmel 5th. Santiago Duran 6th. Jensen Harrell 7th. Spencer Smith 8th. Preston Pico in 9th. And Joey Dom rounds out the top 10 as the double checkers continue to wave. 2 more classes still to come. 206 Cadet. What a wild showing they've had all weekend. They've got their main event, and then the headline division, KA Senior, to wrap up our afternoon here for Sunday at Amarillo. You're watching Car Chasers coverage of the Texas Sprint Racing Series. We'll be right back.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun family atmosphere, try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism down with sort of some of the fun sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, you know, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com. And one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
Odenthal Racing Products, your #1 producer in engine mounts since 1992, along with our leading-edge designs and product development, such as the Odenthal Racing Products EasyGP camera mount, which comes in 4 different styles and can be used on any karting platform. To see our products online, go to odenthalracing.com.
Welcome back here to Amarillo Kart Circuit for the final 2 main events of the afternoon. The Texas Sprint Racing Series with 206 Cadet on circuit. Let's take you through your starting lineup as we get set for 206 Cadet presented by Ferris Mowers. Jackson Young, what a great comeback drive in the second heat race here this morning. Starts on the pole alongside the #2 of Derek Wargo. Thomas Smith and Braden Westfall, your top qualifier, will make up row #2. Paxton Dyson, one of the many drivers pulling double duty this weekend, rolls off to the inside of row 3 alongside Mateo Quinto. Row 4, Chris Tracy in the 224 machine starts to the inside of the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy 221 of Aston Wyatt. Bristol Bournemouth with a good run here through the heats to start inside the top 10. Out of Ramona, California to the inside of Ian Walker. Jordan Bell and Tristan Young will make up row 6. Then it'll be Vesper Majewska, Byron Borman, Davis Henry, Noah Gibson, Dean Garrier, and Aloy Steinbrunner. The 18 driver, Ferris Mowers 206 cadet class, starting to work its way onto the final stretch. And again, 2 main events still coming your way here this afternoon from Amarillo as we work our way around. Final time before they get the green flag, the last little bit to breathe, last little bit to calm the nerves. In the 30 seconds that they come nice and slow, a little bit quick for the start. Jackson Young trying to wave his hand, keep him down, keep him slow. Derek Wargo showing he's not trying to jump it either. And here we go. Green flag in the air. We're racing. A fast start to turn 1. A couple drivers up and over the curbing. 1 getting turned in front of the field around 12th or so. And 2 get connected in the back. It's the 212 and the 202. The 202 of Vesper Majewska and the 212 of Jordan Bell get connected over in turns 1 and 2 on the start. Everybody else is clean up front, and Jackson Young leads them to turn 5.
Yeah, thankfully for Jackson Young, he finally got a nice clean start. You remember at the heat this morning, he didn't really have the cleanest start, and he had to claw his way back up to the front.
He had a lot of work to do this morning for sure. Jackson Young leading the pack right now. Derek Wargo got a great start. He slotted into second. Looks to me like a good start here for Thomas Smith once again. He's third as Wargo went back by him quickly once losing the second spot off the green. Paxton Dyson fourth. Not a great start for Braden Westfall from fourth. He drops to seventh, trying to work his way back forward. And down the back straightaway here, Derek Wargo locked on the rear bumper of Jackson Young towards turn 10. Single file, no passing here. The top 3, little bit of a breakaway beginning to form. Not a major one, but Jackson Young leads Derek Wargo and company as they exit 11 and head on the bend, turn number 12 to turn number 1. You can see 2 more stragglers trying to latch on. I believe in Paxton Dyson and Chris Tracy. All about 4 car lengths back from the leaders. Jackson Young will lead. Lap number 1 in the books for the 16 minutes plus 2 laps main event for 206 Cadet. Derek Wargo with the quickest time on the out lap. Chris Tracy 5th. Mateo Quinto, Ian Walker, Dean Garrier, Braden Westfall. He ended up falling all the way down to 11th from 4th on the grid. So your fastest driver in qualifying with a comeback drive looming here as he's got a lot of work to be done. But a great start, like you said, here for Jackson Young. No problems at all. Just cleaned from the pole to the lead and is still leading the way here to turn number 8.
Yeah, I'm predicting that we're going to be looking at these 2 hooked nose to tail for the entire race. I don't expect many moves. I know how patient these guys can be and how well these guys drive, work together.
I was talking off camera here with Cameron Reed, just how incredible cadet racing has come. Micro, mini, 206 Cadet over the last 5 to 10 years, really, especially the last 5. The level that these kids are performing at is much better and a much higher level than what maybe our generation started up coming at. I mean, the level of defending, the level of, really just thinking while you're out there, working together, pushing, knowing when to push, when not to push. It's so impressive to watch and so cool to see. And, of course, a big reason why some of the kids that are jumping up at younger ages over to other forms of motorsports are absolutely dominating.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to gain experience in the sport nowadays. You can go on YouTube and social media, and you can even just go to the track and do some laps. Like, these kids are really, really working hard at the karting stuff.
And it shows here. So awesome stuff for Jackson Young and Derek Wargo. Like you said, hooked up, no moves yet made. They pulled about another half second back over Thomas Smith and company. Paxton Dyson remains there in the 4th spot. Chris Tracy in 5th. Mateo Quinto 6th, and the rest of the field through. Great start for Dean Garrier. 9 spots gained for Dean Garrier up to the 8th position.
Yeah, great move by Garrier. Bringing it down to the inside. Getting by Ian Walker. There's Dyson and Tracy. Look at them go nose to tail. Look like they're battling pretty well. I know Paxton Dyson's fast. They're going to tap in the helmet, trying to make some moves, trying to work together.
Yeah, Thomas Smith wants them to go with him. They will not. Paxton Dyson wants 3rd for himself. He'll bring Chris Tracy with him inside turn 1, through a little bit wide, but they stay single file. And now Dyson makes the signal to say, no, you guys push me, and let's go forward to the top 2. So he saw they were losing ground. Fair enough to Paxton Dyson, going to realize that at least with Thomas Smith in front, they weren't making any headway. They had to change something up to try and run down the top 2.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with that knowledge that we were just talking about. I mean, these guys get to watch all their favorite drivers go, and they see them do the same exact things. They learn a lot.
Yeah, so great run there for them. Now Chris Tracy somehow able to get around Dyson. So Tracy moves up into third. Dyson back to fourth. Thomas Smith pushing Dyson over to turn number 8. Good move there for Chris Tracy in the 224. Cruise Racing Development, Bureau Art. He makes up some ground. I believe this is Bureau Art. Might be a Kart Republic for the 224 machine.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they're not working more together. You know, these guys are kind of just scrapping for that final podium position, not really worrying about the race that's going on in front of them.
Yeah, interesting here. Dyson back on the inside of Tracy. Turn 10. Clear. So again, like you said, fighting for that final podium spot. Now Tracy gets caught out. Thomas Smith goes by, and Tracy moves up the order. Chris Tracy able to get himself, Tracy drops down the order. Thomas Smith up to fourth. Tracy back into fifth. Mateo Quinto loving this stuff. You can see him slowly coming into frame as they continue to trade third on the racetrack. Meanwhile, the leaders are just setting fast times. Jackson Young, Derek Wargo, purple that time by. They put nearly 2 seconds on him.
Yeah, not something you want to see if you're Paxton Dyson or Chris Tracy. You know, you want to be moving up the boards, running your fastest lap times, getting together in the draft. I mean, it's not working out too well how they'd hoped.
No, definitely not here, unfortunately for them, as they work towards turn number 8 here. Once again, the leaders, you can see 4 seconds out from Derek Wargo's group. Paxton Dyson, from Paxton Dyson's group with Thomas Smith and Chris Tracy in tow. Mateo Quinto a second back from them. Ian Walker about 3.5 back. Braden Westfall digging forward. He's gotten up to 8th. If they fight enough for third, he might be able to get himself onto the podium. And we go back further. Dean Garrier was way up the order. Something happened on that lap there, Riley, as you were able to point it out. He's dropped back to the 11th position.
Yeah, I mean, he's still up 6 spots in this race, but definitely not where he was a couple laps ago.
Well, there we go. So more battling back behind the leaders. Not much going on for the front runners here. However, as the next group comes on through, there is 3rd, 4th, and 5th going to the final corner. And across the line, Thomas Smith now commands that pack. Paxton Dyson back to 4th. You can see Mateo Quinto in the Tony Kart lick at his chops there, saying, come on, guys, keep going. 1 or 2 more passes, and then I get my turn to try and challenge you guys for the final spot on the box, the final piece of hardware here today. And there's still a lot of time left, 10 minutes to go roughly here in this main event. 6.5 minutes in, 2 laps bonus after. KA100 seniors on grid. They'll be getting set to go here shortly.
Yeah, this race is really important for people like Paxton Dyson. Huge implications in on the championship. You know, I've heard that he is close to clinching it. If I'm not wrong, I'm not sure, but I know that he is up there in the championship. He definitely has the best chance of winning it.
Yeah, he's got a great shot here, and again, a good run today will help as we see Dyson and Tracy side by side. Now single file, big run for Dyson. Looking inside, third. He'll take the spot back away from Thomas Smith. Paxton Dyson back onto the box. And here comes Mateo Quinto in the Tony Kart. 4 drivers together now from 3rd back to 6th. While the leaders are just laughing it up here, long gone. 4.5, maybe 5 seconds out now from this pack as they round the final corner and head towards turn number 3.
Yeah, Young and Wargo are just going on a nice little Sunday drive, man. They're just waiting for those last couple laps to start putting the dukes up.
Yeah, just a little bit as they go through turns 3 and 4 here at the halfway point in this race. Now, for some of them, again, we talk about the level they're at. Hard to believe they may know exactly how many laps that they would be running or need to run here in this one. But you at least would think you're getting around the halfway signal. You know you got a lot of time left in that pack. When the pack starts to fight, the unfortunate part is it's not the time you should be fighting, but when everyone else around you starts to battle, you kind of get forced and you have to pass them back, or you just get shuffled down to last.
Yeah, it's survival of the fittest. And you got to be making moves without making any mistakes. You got to take your opportunities where they come, and as a driver, you know, you have to do whatever you can. Nose to tail. We've been seeing driving like this all weekend. The 1-2 pairing is just really, really, really strong around here. You don't see this very often with many other tracks around the country, but here it's just so powerful.
All right, well, while the drivers begin to fight a little more for 3rd, we'll keep the battle on them. As here's Mateo Quinto looking to the inside on Chris Tracy, turn 5, with help from Thomas Smith, who's trying to go through. Tracy will hold it tough on the outside. He retains the 4th spot. Mateo Quinto has run down this pack and gone to the lead of it, into 3rd. Meanwhile, KA100 Senior, presented by Exertex on the grid. Peyton Phillips has one of the best drivers all weekend. He's down with Cameron. Cam?
You're getting ready to go live for the final event. There's been a lot of back and forth throughout the heat races. How are you feeling? What's your plan?
I think if I can get a good start, I think we have the package to win this. It's going to just be keeping it clean and just working smart. Because it's a long race. It's like 7 laps longer than the heat, so yeah, we'll see.
Are you worried about kart setup, or you think you got it down?
Nah, I got the best tuner out here, so yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be straight to P1.
All right, anybody you'd like to thank this weekend?
Everyone over at High Five worked so hard this weekend to put this go together. Of course, John Burke, best mechanic I can ask for. And yeah, and Walter as well for a brilliant engine. So yeah, that's about it.
All right, look.
That again was Peyton Phillips, and there you can see the battle really heated up there through turns 3 and 4, Riley. Chris Tracy tried the inside, got put up onto the curb, lost 2 whole spots due to the loss of momentum here in the lower horsepower 206 cadet class. Got freight trained by both Paxton Dyson and Mateo Quinto. It allowed Thomas Smith to get a little bit further away, but he's still not out of range. They'll be able to run him down probably in about 2 more corners at this rate. What a great little battle. Good amount of entertainment here in the midsection of this main event.
For sure. I mean, Quinto thought that he was gone. He thought that he had escaped them, but he got sucked right back in. That draft is so powerful, and they stayed in it, and now there he is. He's the second one in that group.
All right, well, now with him right in line, let's see. Quinto not going to go. Turn number 10, single file. 10 minutes elapsed, now make it 11. 5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Let's send it over to the other half of what has been the biggest battling duo here all weekend. Peyton Phillips versus Alex Stanfield. Alex Stanfield is down with Cameron. Cam?
You're getting ready to go live for the final. You're starting on the outside. How are you feeling about the start?
Yeah, I'm just going to try to take it clean. The outside on this track's kind of iffy. So if I can just get through the first couple corners and just keep my position, then I think we'll be in a good shot.
You're confident with the pace?
I think so. I think we have a good, strong package. I think the racecraft's been iffy this weekend. But besides that, I think we have a good package.
Sounds good. Anybody you'd like to thank?
GWR, Gary Willis, Allison Racing Engines, Christian Toro, and my grandparents.
Sounds good. Good luck.
Thank you.
Again, Alex Stanfield here, super fast last year, was probably the fastest guy that everybody was putting clocks on throughout most of the day on Friday. But like he said, the racecraft may be a little bit iffy. He's had his fair shares of kind of woes through the heat races. Not all on his own, but it takes 2 to tango, right, Riley?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the battling in that senior category is crazy. I mean, first-hand experience, you can't relax for not a single turn, not a single straightaway. You got to be on edge the entire time and really make sure you're making the right decisions.
And it's crazy to believe, again, Alex Stanfield, only his 2nd full senior season, is basically a veteran when you compare the experience around him. Peyton Phillips, obviously, 2nd year in full national senior racing, I believe, not the 3rd. And then, of course, you have rookie Braden Robertson, rookie Aiden Rudolph. And then you got the old man, Jake French, getting out there and getting after it. He's just kind of been watching the kids play and trying to avoid all the carnage.
Yeah, I mean, the field is super duper strong. I mean, I'm really jealous about racing with these guys. I mean, some of them are at the top in the country, and it's such a pleasure to be racing with them and alongside them.
Yeah, it's going to put on a good show here when we come back. This is a great show, though, still for the 206 cadets. Jackson Young and Derek Wargo have remained linked since the drop of the green flag. That's why we've kept the focus on this fight for 3rd on back. Mateo Quinto now holds this spot over Paxton Dyson, then Thomas Smith, then Chris Tracy. And you can see there, all the way around the outside of turn 9, those 2 drivers, that's the leaders. They are 10-plus seconds out from this fight for 3rd. Meanwhile, there's still a decent gap back from Chris Tracy, but don't look now. Braden Westfall has been digging forward. He's now only two and a little bit of seconds back from the fight that this 4-kart pack has. You can see him, the bright red Kart Republic, coming into view a little ways. Could he get there before the end? There's still a few laps to go. We've still got some minutes left before that 2 to go signal will come. So Braden Westfall, after a terrible start from 4th on the grid back to 11th at the end of the first lap, he's having an outside shot at trying to catch these guys, as we see a little mistake there from Thomas Smith. He runs it wide. Chris Tracy goes to the bumper, and Paxton Dyson, pushing with Mateo Quinto, have gotten a little bit of separation from 5th and 6th on the racetrack.
Yeah, I think Dyson's realized that he does not need to be passing all the time. It's not going to really get him anywhere. He needs to realize that the draft is super duper huge here, and if he wants to break away from that pack, he needs to partner up with somebody.
Yeah, he's definitely got to at least just kind of hang on for a couple laps here if he can do that. Now here's the look at the leaders. Derek Wargo, Jackson Young. What a great performance they put together so far. Just a textbook of what you should do when you have a small gap. There's only one other driver around. Push them, wait to pass. Doesn't matter who's out in front. If you both just stay lined up and you don't pass each other on a track of this size, you will pull a major gap. And they could probably halfway spin out and still come across the line first or second. So for both of them, great weekend in the working here as they round turn number 1 once again, this time by 15 minutes elapsed roughly. It'll be right on the button if they get 3 more laps or just 2 when they come back around the stripe. So either 3 or 4 laps to go right now for Derek Wargo and Jackson Young. We're getting down to crunch time, Riley. When that 2 to go signal comes out, you go from kind of riding, you know the middle of the race is over, and it's back to that battle at the end of the race to go after it.
Yeah, I mean, by that time, you already know what your opponent is doing and, where you're better and where you're losing and where you can improve on. You're always looking for that window to get past and be clean and have really good momentum off the corner. That's what these guys are figuring out right now as we speak. They're figuring out where they can get each other.
Out of turn number 8 this time here, single file for the lead. Back for the group behind. They've kind of grouped back up for third. Paxton Dyson went by Mateo Quinto on the score charts, and Chris Tracy has caught back up. Thomas Smith has caught up. Braden Westfall's only 1.7 seconds back now from the fight for P3. So while the leaders remain single file up front, the fight for third might be heating up once again here. Dyson, Quinto, Tracy, Smith, Westfall on the way to try and get there in the fight for P3.
I know Westfall's just either waiting for the draft or waiting for some crazy stuff to happen. He'll get there, but it's going to take a little bit more time.
Here it is. Here's that group. Paxton Dyson leads them. You can see Braden Westfall coming into view, just trying. Feeling like the Jaws music should be playing here for Braden Westfall as he slowly works his way towards him, and it's 3 laps to go. They made it before the timer. 3 laps remaining. That's great news for Braden Westfall as he clicks off another good time. Unfortunately, he lost a little bit of ground that lap to this group as they finally hooked up and started working together. But never say never. The fireworks could erupt at any moment here for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th as we see Thomas Smith fell back a little bit. Still out of the corner. Paxton Dyson leads the package. Mateo Quinto in line, Tracy in line, Smith in line. Westfall about 2 seconds away.
Now, we may have been talking about how smart these kids are, but you also got to remember that they are kids, and they do make some crazy decisions sometimes. So you never know what could happen.
Yeah, a lot of football fans like to say they like to watch college football due to the unpredictability. Well, it's an unpredictable race whenever you watch any class of the juniors, cadets, or especially the micros. And here we got a lot of micro drivers, a handful of mini drivers in 206 cadet. A lot of young blood here in this group that are all just antsy, fired up, ready to get themselves a big win or a big podium on the biggest stage in all of Texas. Paxton Dyson takes him into turn number 1. This time by 2 laps to go for him. Jackson Young and Derek Wargo still yet to trade the lead. And they're side by side a little bit here for 5th. Overall, we're keeping a tab on them, keeping a tab on the fight for the lead and the win. Dyson's going to start blocking into 3. That'll back him up a little ways.
And not the smartest move from Dyson. He needs to, he has the speed, and he knows that Quinto isn't going to pass him in any random place. He knows he's going to be fast. He wants them to catch up as much as pass. Oh my goodness!
Mateo Quinto with a send from out of nowhere around the outside. Dyson went to the bottom to block. He just broke way later and ripped the top side. Mateo Quinto to 3rd. Here's the battle for the lead. When do they go for the top spot? Derek Wargo's already taken it. Jackson Young back on him for the lead. Turn 10 to the inside. Jackson Young is back through again. Young back to the point. White flag coming this time by in this 2-way duel for the lead and the win. A great battle back behind them for 3rd, but Jackson Young leads once again, coming to the white flag. Opens the door to turn number 1. Derek Wargo not going to throw it in there, so he stays behind him. Here we go. Final lap, Riley. Where do you want to be? 206 Cadet, 1st or 2nd?
I would rather be 2nd in this one.
They are right there, and Wargo 2nd to 1st. Turn 3, back to the point for the number 2. And he caught Young, I think, a little bit off guard. He lost a lot of ground in that exchange, about 4 or 5 car lengths.
Sleeping.
Caught sleeping for sure. Now, can Jackson Young get back going, get back a good exit out of turn 7 and a great exit out of turn 8? That'll bring him into mix here. If he can just kind of close back up where he can get a good toe and get to the bumper using the draft from turn 9 to turn 10, he's got a shot in that final corner. But Derek Wargo We said we weren't sure how many passes we'd get to see in turn 3 on the 206 classes. He just pulled one off there into the chicane. Young got tripped up by it, and now he's got to tuck his head behind the wheel and pray the draft is going to pull him back in. 4 car lengths, down to 3, down to 2 in the braking zone. Needs more. I don't think he's got enough. Derek Wargo, what a great move here at the beginning of the white flag, the final lap. And now, after pushing the entire way, he's going to lead the most important lap of the race, the final one, out of the final turn. Derek Wargo puts one over on Jackson Young. He wins round 4 for 206 Cadet in Amarillo.
Great drive.
And behind, where's that fight for third? They're going into the final corner. Here they come across the line. A lot of shuffling all the way through. Westfall doesn't get there. And across the line, Mateo Quinto able to get it and hold on with that outside move on Paxton Dyson. He gets third, that final spot on the box. Dyson fourth, Tracy fifth, Thomas Smith sixth, Braden Westfall seventh, Aston Wyatt rebounds to eighth, Ian Walker ninth, Bristol Borneman 10th. And a great, great finish here for 206 Cadet once again. And when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the heavy hitters. KA100 Senior, presented by Exertech, to round off our on-track action from Amarillo, is up next. We'll be right back.
I'm Billy Vincent, owner of MPG Motorsports. What we do at MPG is we try to keep it a nice, fun family atmosphere, try to combine sort of the bigger things and of the bigger teams and the professionalism down with sort of some of the fun sort of family-oriented atmosphere. We try to not only develop drivers, but also the parents and the families for just in knowledge in general in motorsports. It all starts in karting. What we try to do is try to help the drivers, the moms, the dads understand the sport of motorsports in general, not just karting, but what it takes to get all the way up through. Whether you end up wanting to be a driver or a mechanic or an engineer, you know, we can help you with that, and that's what we're here for. If you're interested in joining us at MPG, our home base is at Whiteland Raceway Park in Indianapolis, and you can contact us at info@willpowerkart.com, and one of our great people will reach out to you, and we'll try to put the best program together.
Odenthal Racing Products, your #1 producer in engine mounts since 1992, along with our leading-edge designs and product development, such as the Odenthal Racing Products EasyGP camera mount, which comes in 4 different styles and can be used on any karting platform. To see our products online, go to odenthalracing.com.
Welcome back here to Amarillo, and the drivers are getting into their karts. The engines are coming to life. Exertech KA100 Senior getting set to go. They'll clear the grid of all the mechanics, and the fences will line for the fastest class on the Texas Sprint Racing Series structure. The best drivers, some of the top nationally ranked and former national champions, will line the grid, and let's take you through that grid to be specific. Reigning series champion Peyton Phillips will start on the pole. We talked to him before this one, said he felt like he's got the best package out there, and he is stoked for the High Five Motorsports Tony Kart to lead this field to the green. He starts on the inside of row 1 alongside the series veteran, Jake French, who loves this place, loves coming here to Amarillo. His one and only start so far of the season in KA 100 Senior. He starts to the outside of row number 1. Braden Robertson's Arcane Motorsports CRG was flying at the end of heat number 2. Got there at the very end. He made a joke over to us, said, "Hey man, my racecraft's coming along. Was that good enough for you?" It looks like it's coming. We'll see what he can put on here in the main. Alex Stanfield, talked to him as well. An up and down weekend for the kid that started off fastest throughout most of the day on Friday. He rolls off on the outside of row number 2. Adrian Cruz has been kind of silent, just inside the top 5. Maybe not podium level pace yet. Could that be the pace that he was looking for and has found here to start the main? He starts on the inside of row 3. To the outside of him, Adam Rylance, the Northeastern-based driver, making his way over here to the state of Texas. Slowly clawed his way up with some consistent top 10 finishes in the heats and avoiding the chaos, rolls off on the outside of row 3. Row 4, Tyler Stevens, a good run in 206 Senior, a good run working here for KA 100 Senior. He starts to the inside of Jake Faulkner aboard the comp car at the 954. Rounding the top 10, it'll be Connor Casey and JD Lamping in the 908. And then we go back to a few drivers that have had some issues. Dylan Towns had a pretty consistent weekend, but to his outside of row number 6, Vinny Miskelis got cleaned out at the start of heat number 2 earlier today. He rolls off P12, and row number 7, Aiden Rudolph, also with an issue in heat 1 with the airbox falling off, rolls off 13th. Massimo Sanchez-Lara rolls off to the outside of row 7. Then it's Travis Varney, Drew Chappell, also with an issue in heat 2. He rolls off 16th. Taylor Trout, Caden Bell, Robert Warren Jr., Ian Howell, Caitlin Zahorsky, Micah Kipp, Thane Morgan, Sean Kozma, all getting set to go green. And here we go. We are underway for the main event of the weekend. Peyton Phillips takes him down the inside, and already Jake Faulkner's involved. Multiple drivers around at the outside of turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, it was Faulkner and Lamping getting together there in the first corner. Not the start that they would have wanted.
Not at all. So that was the outside of rows 4 and 5. Looked like it tripped up Vinny Miskelis and Drew Chappell, two of the faster drivers we expected to be in contention. They end up kind of getting caught out as Peyton Phillips leads your field. Great start for Braden Robertson from 3rd into 2nd. Jake French is 3rd. Adrian Cruz up to 4th. Alex Stanfield a little bit further back down the order as they work their way out of turn number 8 and head for 9.
Yeah, not the start that Stanfield would have wanted. He has the speed. It just didn't really go his way going in that first corner. The outside line here is quite treacherous. Yeah, it's tough luck for him.
So Jake French tucking his head behind the wheel here as he tries to chase Braden Robertson into turn number 10. Close the gap up to him. Peyton Phillips, your leader here in the 4-driver breakaway. Alex Stanfield, you can see him tucking behind the wheel. Back in that 5th position. Has one driver lined up right behind him there and through turn number 1. The shade's starting to come here as we work towards the end of the afternoon. Cloud cover for the first time today. And across the line, Peyton Phillips leads the way.
Yeah, they're pushing to try to get behind Phillips. Phillips is fast. He started off really well. Looks like there's a couple car lengths between him and Robertson and French. But it looks like the draft's going to help Robertson out a lot to catch back up to Phillips.
Yeah, I think so here, and it might help Alex Stanfield a little bit if they battle to get up to that group for the top 4 all the way through. Again, Peyton Phillips leading the way, Braden Robertson 2nd, Jake French 3rd, Adrian Cruz 4th, Alex Stanfield in that 5th position trying to latch on to them with company coming on the way. When does the battle open up? When does it start here for KA 100 Senior? Peyton Phillips opening. It never starts as they work their way down the straight to turn 10. Here on lap number 2, we'll put 2 in the books. 16 minutes plus 2 laps. Tyler Stevens, Alex Stanfield trying to get there to this group of 4. Right, Aiden Rudolph, great start from 13th up to 7th already. He's a couple seconds back, but a little bit of a shuffle up front. He'll be in the mix as well in the Allen Rudolph Racing Academy Bureau Art.
It definitely looks like they're all bunching back up here. It's starting to get a little tight. I know it looks like Robertson's going to work with Phillips for a little bit, and so I know French needs Adrian Cruz to help him out in the back.
So there they go in the run over to turn at number 5 and 6 and 7. Alex Stanfield here. Peyton Phillips leading the way. Stanfield's launched down to the rear bumper of Adrian Cruz. Make it 5 drivers in the lead group as they exit turn number 7.
Looks like Rudolph's already made up a lot of spots as well. Good start for him. All bunching back up. Looks like Stanfield's on the back of Cruz. I'm sure there's going to be a move being made here quite shortly. Alex is very, very determined to get back up to the front where he knows and thinks he belongs. Going down that straightaway. Looks like Robertson's getting a great draft off of Phillips. No move yet. French is just there, abiding his time. Exactly what he did in that first heat yesterday. Stayed patient and just watched the race unfold in front of him. He was able to pick up that win, which was great for him. We gave him that really good starting spot here for the final, starting P2.
So here they go through 5, 6, and 7. They'll pick them up out of 7 here. Peyton Phillips, Braden Robertson, Jake French, Alex Stanfield, Adrian Cruz losing touch a little bit as they go on through. All the way through over to turn number 10. We'll find the leaders here. There they go out of turn number 8. Looks like maybe a little bit of a shuffle up near the front of the field. We'll try and find him here at Braden Robertson. Still staying glued to the rear bumper of Peyton Phillips. Alex Stanfield going by Jake French. Move Alex Stanfield up to third. Problems here for one driver coming on in early. One of the Arcane Motorsports entries. Pulls off to the inside. That is the 908 into the scale line. An unfortunate early end of the day here for J.D. Lamping. Again, collected in that opening corner incident. And he's going to call it a day here as the field works its way onto the front straightaway again. Over to turn number 3. Peyton Phillips is your leader. Robertson, Stanfield, French, the top 4.
Stanfield's looking quite fast. He's looking real good right now. I think that should worry Robertson and Phillips. Quite punchy at the moment.
Yeah, there they go through 5, 6, and 7. All the way through. And that time by Alex Stanfield, fastest driver on the racetrack here as Braden Robertson continues to push on Peyton Phillips to try and just continue to build that gap. Jake French on the verge of losing ground. Alex Stanfield on the verge, maybe making a move there for second. Right on the bumper of Braden Robertson here as the field goes on through.
Yeah, he is definitely coming. He wants to get by Phillips. I know that a little bit of rivalry going on between those two, and I know that it will be very satisfying for either one of them to beat the other.
Well, Alex Stanfield's gotten by, and now the two rivals, if you want to call it, the budding rivalry for Alex Stanfield and Peyton Phillips coming to ahead here. Stanfield's driven through the pack, got by Braden Robertson in turn 10. He's on the bumper of Peyton Phillips as they head down the front straightaway.
Looking real tidy coming out of that last corner. Looks like Stanfield has a lot of really good grip coming out. Car looks super nice and free. And there goes Phillips looking back, possibly getting a little flustered, seeing Stanfield behind him. I know that's not the person he wants to be seeing.
As the field heads over through turn number 8 here this time, Alex Stanfield looks a little bit wide on Peyton Phillips here. He's setting him up just like what we saw him do to Braden Robertson a lap ago. Does he want the lead? How bad does he want the lead? On the bumper, looking inside. Alex Stanfield to the bottom side and new leader. And the GWR Tony Kart brings Braden Robertson along for the ride with him.
Smart move from Stanfield. Got Phillips back, even an extra spot behind him. A little bit of a cushion there.
Yeah, so with that move, Peyton Phillips drops to P3. Look at Braden Robertson looking inside. Bring the Arcane Motorsports CRG to the point. Now. He wanted to prove he's got some racecraft. He's racy all right. Stanfield wants it back though. Turn 3. Phillips goes as well. And Robertson gets back to third. Alex Stanfield to the lead. Jake French watching it all happen. Takes a look back. Monitoring the gap to Adrian Cruz.
I know Jake is loving this right now. It's the same thing that happened in that first heat yesterday. He's just biding his time, just waiting till the end. Letting these guys do the business before him.
Yeah, so here they go out of turn number 7. Peyton Phillips, Braden Robertson, Alex Stanfield there through to turn number 8. Still single file, looking good. Out of 8 over to turn number 9. And now with all this shuffling, look who's coming into frame. Aiden Rudolph, welcome to the party at the front of the pack. Braden Robertson, big run on Phillips. Looking inside, he'll take away the lead. He'll bring Alex Stanfield, nearly brings Jake French as well, through for third. He does. Phillips now's got more problems. Aiden Rudolph is by, and Adrian Cruz gets by Peyton Phillips as well.
It looks like Phillips got knocked off the track there on the outside of turn 10.
Yeah, they were not being nice to Peyton Phillips here. They were shuffling him to the wayside. Braden Robertson now commanding the field here in Amarillo. Alex Stanfield in second in line as they work their way around.
A great drive for Robertson so far. He's shown this. He's had the speed all weekend, and now he's finally able to prove that to everybody.
Yeah, there they go through 5, 6, and 7.
The leaders here having a great battle already. Jake French positioning himself nice and well. Aiden Rudolph slowly cutting his way up to the front. Great drive forward for the Allen Rudolph Racing Academy Bureau Art driver as the field goes over to turn number 9.
Remind them, do not stand in front of the transponder.
Do not stand in front of the transponder.
Like we're only losing them when they turn, you know.
Are you guys getting that?
As they go out of turn number 10, over to 11 here. Braden Robertson, Alex Stanfield, Jake French about a cart length away. Aiden Rudolph still kind of slowly coming into picture here. Trying to give an update on the rest of the pack. Let's run you through the top 10. While for the moment, it seems as though they're happy to run where they are. Down the front straightaway here this time for Exert Tech K100 Senior. We're just at the halfway marker. Peyton Phillips has cleaned the tires off. He's half a second back from Adrian Cruz, who's just kind of hanging on there to the end of the grouping. Couple tenths off the pace of the leaders, but when they battle, Cruz brings that cruise missile back up to him. And out at 5, 6, and 7 still the leaders. Braden Robertson, Alex Stanfield pushing him, and Jake French 2 car lengths back here headed to turn 8.
It looks like Robertson and Stanfield are building a pretty nice gap up ahead. Nice little space cushion between French and them.
Yeah, nice little grouping out of turn number 9 for him. We'll pick up, here goes Robertson and Stanfield. Look at that gap now. It's almost up to 5 car lengths back to Jake French and Aiden Rudolph. Rudolph, I think he's going to go for it. Indeed he will. Turn number 10, Aiden Rudolph is by.
Stanfield in the lead. We knew that Stanfield was hungry. We knew that these guys were hungry. It's cool to see that they're really going at it for each other. I know that if I was Alex sitting behind Robertson, I would be thinking, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up. You know, you're just trying to work together and make it as far away as you can so you can have your race just between y'all two. It's like Rudolph is making some gains in P3 after getting around French. French is still just abiding his time.
Problems for Adam Rylance here. He's going to come into a DNF in the main event. An unfortunate ending for the 940. So he is done with a flat right front tire. So Adam Rylance into the scale line. He is done. Meanwhile, up front, Stanfield the leader, Robertson second, Rudolph in third. Big run coming here out of the final couple corners and towards turn number 1. And look at that, Aiden Rudolph all over the rear bumper of Braden Robertson. Alex Stanfield trying to be there, trying to pull away. Jake French here, 4 car lengths back, a car length back to Adrian Cruz. All the while through turns 3 and 4 here, the top 3. Nice little margin. Stanfield, little carburetor adjustment with just past the halfway mark here in this main.
Look at the Crosslink crew up in there, 1, 2, 3. They all on their separate teams now, obviously, but it was cool to see how those guys grew up together all through the junior categories and even in the cadets.
So as they go out of turn number 8 over to turn number 9, Alex Stanfield still leads. Braden Robertson was racy early. He's kind of settled in, not in a huge rush, it looks like, to try and go back by the GWR Tony Kart driver. He's realized they're starting to gap the field a bit. They've set the best laps of the session, trailing the 906. Aiden Rudolph went purple the lap before. He's looking really good as well.
Yeah, all 3 of these guys definitely have some speed. Oh, big send.
Yeah, big time move for Braden Robertson. Back to the lead into turn number 1. And so the CRG takes the point again. Jake French, Peyton Phillips, Adrian Cruz all losing ground as they go through turns 3 and 4. And Braden Robertson commands the field. Now Alex Stanfield looks back for help from Aiden Rudolph. Rudolph says focus forward. Let's keep building this margin. They've almost dropped French, Phillips, and Cruz from the rest of the pack.
Oh, there's a pass. Rudolph around Stanfield in 7.
Wow, surprised
Great
to
move.
see that one there. Great move in 7. That was the move that Stanfield tried on Phillips in that opening heat race when they got together. And again, cleanly done by Rudolph, but hey, that was a little bit of head games there. Says, go ahead, open the door for me. I ain't going to pass you. And he does.
Yeah, I know that Robertson knew that Rudolph was coming and he had to get around Stanfield. Now, who knows, maybe they'll start working together. I know that those 2 are really good friends off track and they might start working together against Stanfield.
Let's see it here. Alex Stanfield, of course, has kind of become the one of the top dogs in the K senior class, especially after that big one in NTK. Look at Aiden Rudolph. from 13th on the grid. The Allen Rudolph Racing Academy driver to the lead here in Amarillo. And just like that, Peyton Phillips, Jake French, Adrian Cruz back in the mix of things through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, here comes Phillips. He's back. He knows what they did wrong to him. They know he put him off track.
Yeah, he's going to remember everyone who wronged him here as there goes Robertson through, and they're all going to tighten up through 5, 6, and 7. All the way through. Braden Robertson to the lead. Stanfield second, Rudolph third. Phillips looks back, checks the gap as they go side by side for the lead. Stanfield through to the top spot in turn number 8.
It's turned out to be a great race so far. I did not think that they were, actually, I cannot say that I expected them to work together. That's wrong with me.
No, definitely not. But we didn't expect them to maybe battle as much as they have been.
Yeah.
It's been an entertaining main event for every single lap. And here they go again. Robertson back on Stanfield.
They're battling hard. They're having fun out there.
They are having a blast, and they're about to really go at it. Robertson wants him to push him. Stanfield doesn't want to push anybody. And here comes Peyton Phillips. Welcome back to the show. This time by 2 minutes and 2 laps to go.
Little mistake from Robertson.
And that's all that Alex Stanfield sees here. He sees one mistake. He's going to go. Here he comes. Turn 3 inside. New leader. Alex Stanfield's by. And they're going to battle for second. Rudolph nearly off the road. And Peyton Phillips will take over third. Robertson into second. And Stanfield with the biggest gap we've seen all day. Phillips sends it on the inside.
Man, what a great move by Phillips right there. That's a tough passing spot, and to see him go super deep in it like that, that was awesome.
And right there.
Great job by him so far. Hopefully he can get that one more from Robertson. We'll see. He's got the speed, and we know he has a great top end on his engine. Gets him.
Yeah, great move by Drew Chappell to get by Braden Robertson. But out front, Alex Stanfield, flawless drive, flawless making his way through. Peyton Phillips did everything he could to get back to him. But today, it'll go to the way of the GWR Tony Kart. Out of turn number 1 for the final time. Alex Stanfield
get in there,
goes back-to-back here for round 4 at the Texas Sprint Series. Peyton Phillips ends in second. Across the line, what a great final battle here all the way through. So Alex Stanfield ends up as your winner. Phillips second, Rudolph third, Chappell 12 spots gained for Drew Chappell to get up to P4. Braden Robertson fifth. Vinny Muskelis ends in sixth. Tyler Stevens, Dylan Town, Connor Casey, Ian Howell 10 spots gained from the back of the grid to the top 10. And man, do we have a lot to unpack here from this final with everything from the Jake French and Adrian Cruz contact all the way through Peyton Phillips, going all the way to the back of the field, coming back through, just coming a few laps shy, and Alex Stanfield navigating the chaos, getting a bit of a break there with Braden Robertson fighting hard for second, and he's able to keep that gap to the finish.
Definitely an experienced drive from Stanfield. Great drive from him. He definitely deserved this win.
So awesome stuff here for Alex Stanfield as he comes on into the scale line. We're going to talk to him. We'll talk to all the top drivers that we can. Lots of interviews coming your way here for the Amarillo kart circuit as the field works its way into the scale line. And again, your KA100 Senior main event presented by Exertech. Lots of frustration, lots of passing all the way through. I can imagine there's going to be more than a few words to a couple of drivers all the way around. But man, Alex Stanfield with a big time applause when he rolls on into the scale line, and he pulls off a masterclass victory here in KA100 Senior. We're going to try and get to them as soon as we can. They've got, I'm sure, some penalties to go, but quite a bit of interviews to come your way here from Amarillo.
We have a lot of good drivers that come through our program. We have a lot of experience. I've been doing it for almost 35 years, and we just try to translate that to all our customers.
For more info about Mike Doty Racing, you can contact us at MikeDotyRacing@gmail.com or call us at 845-551-0572.
Looking for a top-level team environment that fits your budget? Look no further than AMAX Racing. We cater to customers around the country who want driver coaching, tuning assistance, hospitality, track support, and a family race environment. Our race schedule has support available at all levels, from club and regional series across the Midwest to top-tier events such as the TKNA Grand Nationals, the U.S. Pro Kart Series, and the Scooter Pro Tour. Whatever level you may be at or want to get to, AMAX Racing can get you there.
Welcome back here to Amarillo Kart Circuit, and man, it is wild here in the scale area. Lots of applause, obviously, for one heck of a showing to round off today. Riley Cann's caught up with Chuck. Alex Stanfield, your winner for round 4, 2 in a row here, and 3 on the season as he has pulled it off here in Amarillo. Let's send it to Riley.
What's up, guys? I'm here with Chuck Stanfield himself, the winner of the round 4 final here at Amarillo Kart Circuit for Texas Sprint Racing Series. Alex, you came into the weekend super fast, had a little bit of trouble in the races. How did that race go for you?
Yeah, that race went pretty well. I got hit off on the start in the grass, and I just knew I had to make my way back up. And then I just had the speed at the front, and some people weren't working with me, and that's fine. And then I passed for the lead, and I looked back, I didn't see anybody, and I pulled away.
Yeah, it looked like you were saving no time getting around the people that were ahead of you. You're trying to play aggressive in that race?
Yeah, for sure. I knew my tires probably came in a little earlier than everyone else, so I had to capitalize on that, and I just made my moves clean.
For sure, man. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, again, Alex Stanfield's got to go back and scale his card in. We'll talk to a few more of the top contenders in that one. Peyton Phillips drove his tail off to get back into contention here. Braden Robertson, a good showing through that one. Aiden Rudolph from way back in the pack there was able to get his way up into the mix as well. And as they work their way through the post-race scaling procedures, we'll try and pull a few more here to talk to in just a few moments. But a beautiful picturesque day here at Amarillo. Let's see if we can talk to him. We'll bring Braden Robertson over. What a good day it's been here for Braden Robertson, up and down, and ultimately they're inside the top 5 to finish that one at points, leading quite a few laps here in this main event. He's caught up with Riley.
Braden, you had the speed all weekend. You were able to show it towards the latter part of the races. How did that race go for you?
It was all right from the start, but towards the end I just got in my head a little bit, got past a couple times, and just made some not so smart moves. And
yeah, I saw you were passing all. You were really eager to get to the lead. I mean, how did it feel even leading the race?
It felt good to lead, to get the CRG up front, but wish I could have just brought the win home.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of drama at the end of the race. I mean, what do you think about all that?
I'm not really sure what he's mad about, but I guess I'll find out later.
Great job, man.
All right, again, lots of emotions all the way through that one to wrap it up. Peyton Phillips, great run here in the high 5 performance. Tony Kart, he ends up second. So good run, good points day for the reigning champ. Gets himself a lot of points into contention here. We'll see if we can talk to Peyton after this one as he's got the cart headed over to post-race tech inspection, and Aiden Rudolph as well. Man, what a drive for the 979. But Peyton Phillips, the other half of the battle, lots of battle, and got knocked off the racetrack, came back through. Let's get his thoughts here. Riley?
Peyton, you were one of the fastest guys all weekend. You drove a great race. Some things just didn't go your way. I mean, tell me how that went.
It was my own mistake. I held on the outside and I got put into the grass. I know that the team deserves better. It's not.
Well, we can assure you did a great job this weekend. We'll definitely be excited for you to come back for Speed Sports. You excited for that race?
Yeah. I don't always get the best results, but I'm always pretty fast there, so we'll see.
Yeah, great job.
All right, again, that is, again, Peyton Phillips, obviously down on himself, thinking he could have done a little bit better, but it was a heck of a run here for him all the way through to wrap up the afternoon. The beautiful windmills are going here. It was a hot and sunny afternoon in Amarillo for the Texas Sprint Racing Series Midsummer Mashup. But Alex Stanfield victorious in the headline K100 senior class presented by Exertech. For those here on the track today, podiums will be getting started here once they get through post-race tech inspection. In the meantime, thanks to all of you for tuning into the Kart Chaser broadcast and our coverage of the Texas Sprint Series. We're back here live on the channel with the Stars Championship Series at New Jersey Motorsports Park in 2 weeks' time. And we got the Texas Sprint Racing Series finale under the lights at Speed Sports Racing.